Right. Hi. I'm coming through my own headset at the minute, so I must have an echo somewhere along the line.
Let me hit my mute and see if it's me.
Yeah, it could be. It could be coming through on yours, Dan. Hi, everyone. With the next, this is the new kind of AZCHATS format. I used to do video formats, but now live stream formats, AZCHATS. Today, I'm joined by the fantastic, and I do say fantastic, you'll see his art in a moment. He's absolutely incredible. Dan Fraga, who I like to call Dan Fraga, because Fraga boom, frag grenade.
Yes.
So if I do say Fraga at any time,
perhaps
do tell me off.
We can make a funny rule. You know how language is funny, that everything changes with context? When it's by itself, it's Fraga. But when it's next to boom, it's Fraga boom.
Fraga boom. I like that.
I'll take that. It's a modifier. It changes the word.
I've got a great idea for you as well, by the way. Right. Now, if you don't know who Dan Fraga is, I'm going to let him introduce himself at the moment. But he has an IndieGoGo campaign, which he launched a couple of days ago. And it's bringing back his 1994 series, Black Flag. I have put the link in the description box down below. If at any point in this video, in this podcast, you like what you hear, you like what you see, please click the link, go and support the IndieGoGo. So, Dan, do you want to give us a little bit about yourself? Tell us about who you are.
Well, I'm a lover of storytelling. I consider myself a storyteller first. I got bit by the comic bug really fiercely back in 1986. I liked comics, was buying comics, but in 86, I saw Frank Miller's Dark Knight, and it changed my world. I decided I wanted to become a comic book artist. I worked fast and furious to do so. I had some discouragement along the way. Some pros told me I would never make it, which only strengthened my resolve.
Best encouragement you can get.
Yeah, and then in 1989, early '89, I did a TV show for my high school. It was part of a program, and I did a live show, not unlike what we're doing now, called Comic Review for You. I went and did a pre-tape segment up in San Francisco, where I met Rob Liefeld. Rob had just started, he'd literally just started working on New Mutants the week before I met him. The timing was great, because I met Rob before he became Rob, you know. We became friends, and through the next couple years, I would send him my work. And then when he started Image Comics, I became his first hire. I moved down to Southern California. I worked for Image Comics. I worked for Image, I worked for Marvel, worked for DC. I left comics in 2003 to start storyboarding. Storyboarded movies like The Transporter and The Fighter. A lot of music videos, a lot of Taylor Swift music videos. Went over to Mattel, worked for them for 5.5 years directing their stuff. I skipped a part. You might have heard of this guy. Ricky Gervais. I directed 2 seasons. No. Yeah, you guys have a funny accent that sounded similar. I thought you guys might know each other.
I wish I knew Ricky Gervais.
Yeah,
he's my favorite comedian. He's fantastic.
He's great. Yeah. He's great. So I worked on his show as the director for 2 seasons. I went over to Mattel for 5.5 years.
This is when Ricky did the cartoon part.
That's the part. Yeah, I did 26 episodes of that. I then went over to Mattel, worked on Monster High, Ever After High. After my stint at Mattel, I came out from California, moved here to Georgia, which is completely on the other side of the country, to work on Legacies and Doom Patrol for HBO. I guess it's HBO Max.
Yeah.
And in the interim, while I was working at Mattel, I had this really strong itch to get back into storytelling, but I didn't know how to do it. I had a 9-to-5 job, a 3-hour commute, 3 kids at home, but I wanted to do a graphic novel. So I said, you know what? What would happen if I drew a panel a day for a year? That's 365 panels. Can I tell a story in 365 panels? Mm-hmm. I did it. Every day I posted on Instagram, one after another. The book got picked up by IDW. They put it out last summer, so that was my return to comics. Nothing felt so right, so I started developing Black Flag again. After 25 years, I started writing a story and decided that I wanted to bring it back, and here we are.
Damn.
So that's the
That is
long
that
of it.
is no, dude. That is a hell of a resume right there.
A lot
That
of
is
fun.
fantastic. This is why I find you so fascinating. Because when I start to go back, because correct me if I'm wrong here, but you got picked up when you were 16 years old.
I met Rob when I was 16.
Yeah.
I did that interview with him when I was 16, but my actual hire was December of 91. So I had been out of high school for 6 months. So I went high school.
For a high school for a whole 6 months. Wow.
Yeah. I went from high school to Image Comics. You know,
that is crazy.
yeah.
I mean, that time in itself with Liefeld and Jim Lee and all that, that was just just bonkers.
One of the most amazing memories I have, and I've told it before, so forgive me if anybody's in your audience that has heard this, but my first day at Image was the day that CNN had come to Rob's studio to do the report that 7 artists had formed Image Comics. And afterward, we all got some Chinese dinner, and we're sitting at, of all things, a round table. And there are 9 of us sitting there. There are the 7 Image founders, my friend and blood brother for life, Marat Michaels. He drew Brigade and has a lot of really fun crowdfunding stuff himself. I'm sitting there, and you got to realize I was still fanboy number 1, you know, and I'm sitting there looking at my chow mein and my jasmine tea, and I'm like, there's Jim Lee, Todd McFarlane, Eric. Like, I felt like I had won like the sweepstakes, like the biggest fanboy sweepstakes in my life. So that was one of those moments that it's probably my rosebud. I'll just, like, as I'm dying, I'll say, chow mein.
Chow mein.
He really loves chow mein, you know. But yeah, that was one of those moments. Yeah.
I mean, so you're 16, or you're coming out of high school.
Yeah.
You're going pretty much straight in. Rob Liefeld sees your stuff, loves your stuff. Once once you're on board, you're this kid. You are a kid.
Yeah.
You're surrounded by comic book royalty,
legends.
How does that fuel you?
It still does. It fuels me today. I'm a big fan of this thing called NLP, which is neural linguistics programming, and it's about how we interface with the world, sight, sound, and feeling. And one of the things that I do, and I tell people, because my channel is about inspiring creativity, if people want to check out Couch Doodles, I get asked this question a lot. What do you do if you're not feeling creative? And what I'll do is I will conjure that feeling of what it felt like when I was there for those first few months, especially.
Yeah.
Or when, McFarlane used to come and visit the studio when I was working on Bloodstrike, and he would go over my shoulder and give me tips. And I'm like, here's like my hero giving me tips, and it feels so good that it was one of those things where you want to take note and you go, okay, anytime I want to feel good, think about this, It's like anytime that some people, when they're making sweet love, they think of baseball scores. The opposite is, I think, a B. Arthur.
I'm thinking, don't come too soon.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm thinking.
That's all I'm thinking.
But this is how I do it. I think of B. Arthur from Golden Girls with
I'd be over then.
With an anchovy sandwich, going, get him, Tiger.
I guess so. No, this is amazing.
It goes like, this is how I feel good, and this is how I feel bad. But yeah, that feeling is one that I conjure. I also have my spinner rack over here that's filled with those comics from that era. I have a playlist on Spotify that has music that makes me feel a certain way. So
yeah.
I feel like it's great that you ask about the feeling, because I still feel that intensity today.
Oh, I mean, to me, I'm trying to transplant myself into your position of just being there, and even just the thought of transplanting myself 26 years later, it's just like, incredible. Oh my God, I just the thought of, Todd McFarlane, Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, just sort of and you keep on going.
Well,
that in itself to me just buoys me. Never mind being the person.
I talk about sort of like, I try to get people in similar states. I did an interview a couple weeks ago on a show, and the person asked me what it was like when I joined Comicsgate,
Mm-hmm.
And I said, imagine a genie says to you, I have a wish that I can grant you, but I have to give you, I'm going to give you the terms.
Yeah.
How would you like to know where you stand with everyone in your life? Legitimately, it's almost like Mel Gibson, like What a Woman Wants, or whatever
Yeah.
where you can read minds. Do you really want to read minds? What if you're going to get crushed? But when I joined Comicsgate, I basically answered the question of would you like to see where you stand with everyone in your life? And it was as if like They Live with Roddy Piper. You put the glasses on, you're like, holy shit, that person was never my friend.
Yeah,
Holy
They
shit,
Live.
and that person has my back. I didn't know they loved me so much. It was like one of those really weird things, but it's
Oh,
pretty.
no, we'll get to that. Don't
Yeah,
worry, we'll
yeah,
get to
yeah.
that.
Okay.
So you're young, you're an image.
Yes.
You get the opportunity to create your own project, Black
Yeah.
Flag.
Yeah.
1994.
Yes.
How did it feel to be able to create your own thing,
Uh,
but to have
freeing,
these people still
freeing,
available
man.
to you?
It's absolutely freeing. The thing there were it's good too, because I feel like I'm in alignment with a lot of creators. Todd McFarlane had said in an interview that the reason he drew Spider-Man the way he drew him and drew his book stylistically had nothing to do with bucking any systems. It had to do with embracing the things that kept him wanting to do it at 12 hours a day, sitting in one spot, because it's an endurance race when you do it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I had just watched this thing on this channel called Meta, and it had Paul Jenkins, and he was interviewing Kevin Eastman. And Kevin Eastman was talking about his first 15 issues of the Ninja Turtles with Peter Laird. And he said, we were doing these things for ourselves. We were doing these things, to make ourselves happy. And that I went, there we go. There's Todd, there's Kevin Eastman saying exactly the thing. Like when I created Black Flag, when I created the Gear Station, and some of my other creations, I basically put stuff in there that thrills me to death. Like stuff that like when I'm working for hire. Even the last book that I just did, working on He-Man, I had a great time on He-Man, but there were some days where I'm like, I don't feel like drawing this. These aren't my characters.
Sure.
Like I had to draw this guy here, this Skeletor. A lot of fun to draw, but if you look at his boots, man, every time I had to draw these boots, they took at least 45 minutes to draw fucking boots, man. And they weren't boots that I designed. When I design them, they're a joy because you can kind of work through them. But when you're trying to be accurate, like this rivet goes here, sometimes it's daunting. So for Black Flag, answering your question, doing my own creation, it feels like freedom, and it feels like excitement, and it gives you something to look forward to every morning when you get to the drawing board. Do I got you frozen, or are you just blown away? I think we got a big F on our friend Az is over there, frozen. Unless it's me that is frozen. Can you guys hear me okay? Let's see. I can't hear you, sir. Let's see in the chat. Let me see what we look like on YouTube, because I am not hearing or seeing you, my friend. Oh, I'm here. I'm live. I'm all by myself. Yep, you guys can hear me. So Big Man Down, I'm here. We can talk. I've seen him have this happen to his show before. So let me show you guys something really fun. I don't know if you guys are McFarlane fans. Here's the art of Todd McFarlane right here, and it's got his whole history. And one of the things that I'm really just completely stoked about, I forget what page it's on. It's like two something, 290 something, I think. We see the inks for Black Flag in here, which again, like I said, it's like a complete dream come true to be able to have my hero ink my stuff. Here it is. If you get the Devils in the Details art of Todd McFarlane, you're gonna see. Look at there, Black Flag. There's an appearance of Black Flag right here in the Art of McFarlane book, which is crazy. Johnny Rando says, DC lost your art, question mark. Yes, they did. I did a story for DC, a Superman story written by Dan Jolly, inked by Larry Stucker. This was back in May of 2003. This was like the last mainstream comic that I had drawn. and turned it all in, and then suddenly it was gone. Okay, uh, Az says his internet just dropped, so he's gonna get back in ASAP. So here we go. So the I asked them when's it coming out, and they said, and this is Tom Palmer Jr. He was the assistant editor. He said, kind of embarrassing. We don't know where the artwork is. This was 2003. So I left comics, and I started storyboarding, and I proceeded. Every 6 months, I would write an email. Did you find it? Did you find it? Did you find it? They didn't find it. And then in 2016, DC Comics decided they were going to move their offices from New York all the way to California, in Burbank. And when they were cleaning the offices, lo and behold, behind a file cabinet was the entire Superman issue. Sadly, they didn't want to take it to print because in that 13 years, Superman had changed. He went to the all-new 52. The Superman I had drawn was more of your classic sort of John Byrne, Neil Adams, Christopher Reeve Superman that you would in 2003. But yeah, it happened, man. I'm gonna read you guys super chats while Az is getting his internet back. Oh, there he is. I was about to read your super chats for you, buddy.
Fucking Virgin Media, because of this goddamn COVID shite. Virgin is saying, "Oh, we're sorry, we can't. Your internet can be as dodgy as it's going to be because everyone's hammering the internet."
Yeah,
and I'm just like, "Well, you can go fuck off. I want my internet."
yeah.
Right. Sorry about that, folks.
All good, man. I ended up showing them where they could find that you can find an appearance of Black Flag in the art of Todd McFarlane.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah, if
I think I know the image you're referring to.
Yeah, it's the cover where that he had inked. Somebody in the chat had asked, have I talked to Todd since coming over to CG? Yeah, in fact, I talked to him. I did an interview with him, a nice 2-hour interview where we talked about the sun, moon, and stars, and then off camera, he and I talked a bit about Comicsgate. He said he understood why I'm doing what I'm doing. He understands the want and need for independence and freedom. And also, I've been talking to him and kind of hard pressing him to get some Black Flag toys made. So I'm talking to him, talking some other toy manufacturers. But you know, Todd he's the man who makes the best toys.
So when did you make the decision to leave Image and move on to Marvel?
Well, I went where Rob went. You know, and Rob was voted out of Image in '96. I stayed with him. I worked with him while he was he had Awesome Comics, and that's where I learned a lot of skills for him. I wasn't just penciling. I was penciling, inking, doing production. I was doing lettering. I was doing pre-press, a bunch of stuff. He and I ended up having a bit of a fallout in the summer of '99. And that's when we were going to do a relaunch. In fact, we were on the heels of doing a relaunch for Black Flag in 1999. I was going to change the name to Black Seed. And any keen people out there know about the Black Seed preview, which is on the back of a issue of Coven, where we see Sniper and we see a little bit of tidbits of what would end up becoming Gear Station. So I brought Gear Station over to Image Comics, but I left because of the falling out. I went from Image back to Image on my own, and then I had got a call from this editor named Mike Martz. He ran the X Office over at Marvel, and he asked me if I would be interested in drawing Wolverine, and of course I was like, yeah, man.
Yeah, it's a tempting thing to be asked to do.
So I hopped over there and started doing some issues of Wolverine for them.
You did a little bit of over at DC. Did a little bit of Superman.
I did Superman. I also did one. This is one of those rare cuts. You know, if you're going to go deep cuts, the one that nobody really knows about is I drew an issue of Powerpuff Girls.
Wow.
And you know, it's completely on model, right? So it could have been anybody who drew it. The storytelling is the only thing that you can really go, oh yeah, I see how that's you know, it comes from that sort of vantage point that I'm used to seeing, you know. But yeah, Powerpuff Girls. I went over, and I also worked on a book called The Big Book of Wild Women, where I did a story about Queen Nzinga of Africa. So that's there. Yeah. So that was my run over at DC, and then I decided I was going to leave comics and go into the entertainment business doing storyboards.
So how did that materialize? How did you go from, okay, I'm drawing comics,
okay,
okay, I want to draw storyboards?
Okay, do you have steel-toed boots on?
Not on, no.
Okay, I'll tell you why. This story I'm going to tell you is going to sound like the most name-droppiest story of all time. But the problem is I can't tell the story without dropping names like I'm dropping bombs. But
okay, I'll clap every time you name drop.
Okay, yeah, just bam. So my ex-wife and I back in the year 2000 only had one car, and she worked at a bank, and if I needed to do errands or anything, I'd take her to work, and then I would use the car to run errands. Most of the time she took it, but that particular day I decided I was going to need the car. But I had also just purchased a webcam, and this is the year 2000. So webcams aren't what they are today. You know, you had to have a dedicated web address. My idea was, much like what we're doing today, my idea is to have a webcam over my page as I was drawing Wolverine, so people could check in and watch me draw, because it would take a picture every 30 seconds. Like, it wasn't streaming. It was like, here's Dan, and, you know, here he is 30 seconds later. Here he is. But I had a Mac, and I didn't know the software. This has a point. Don't worry. You're like, how the hell does this have to do anything? So as I'm taking her to work, the DJ at the time, Rick Dees in the morning, says, hey, come down and check out Kiss FM. We got a brand new webcam. Come to kissfm.com and see our new webcam. And I was like, they have a webcam. So I wanted to see what software they were using. Usually it would say powered by blah, 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 webcam powered by. So I go to that website. I see this banner for this clothing company called Fu Manskito. It's got a really cool sort of, I don't know, graffiti sort of vibe. So I clicked on it. I was a sucker for a link, and I'm looking at the clothing, and I realize that this clothing company, their style is a lot like another clothing company I had done work for, this company called Genco that used to do these crazy flared out jeans. So I wrote them in their careers thing. I said, hey, my name's Dan Fraga. I used to do work for Genco. If you guys ever need any spot illustration, here's my information. I instantly got an email back from their art director, a guy named Dave Daniels, and he said, are you the same Dan Fraga that draws comics? I said, yeah, you're a comic book fan. That's cool. He said, well, our owner really wants to meet you. He's going to be in town next week for the Oscars. And I'm thinking, cool, all right. What, maybe he's you know, going to dress the stars. I don't know. So yeah, here come I know you're about to cry. So I get sent to this place called L'Armitage Hotel, and I meet Chris Kirkpatrick from NSYNC. And this is when NSYNC is at their, I mean, the pinnacle. This is, you know, they've got Bye Bye Bye, and, you know, Gonna Be Me. This is during that time. I meet Chris. I meet the band. I see Kevin Spacey. Chris plays a joke on Kevin.
Whoa, you might have dodged that one.
Yeah, no, I know. I wasn't. Hey, listen, I'm not pretty enough for him, man. I'm too hairy. But so I meet Chris, and Chris and I hit it off immediately. We're like brothers from another mother. We're just cracking jokes, and anyhow, I end up going on tour with NSYNC for up and down the coast of California, just to hang out, basically like a groupie, but a dude, you know. And I meet this guy who's also, he's in a boy band, but he's also a great voice actor. If you guys are fans of Voltron, he's the voice of Shiro. He's the voice of Spider-Man, voice of Green Lantern. His name is Josh Keaton, big time.
Oh yeah.
One of my best friends. So he and I share love for this production team called the Neptunes, right? And the Neptunes is Pharrell and Williams and Chad Hugo. Well, we go to, so two things happen. This is the two things that got me into my storyboarding career. I meet Pharrell at the backstage at a nerd show. He finds out that I draw, wants me to come and direct a cartoon for his new album called Fly or Die. So there's that connection. I also party with Chris in Vegas, and we just happened to be invited to the Vegas premiere of The Italian Job, where we meet Mark Wahlberg and Jason Statham. I'm working on Superman at this time. Okay, this is another one of these roundtable moments. I'm at the Palms Resort. The Maloof brothers, who own the Palms, had comped Chris the Real World suite. You remember the Real World? This is the suite that they filmed the Real World in.
Yeah.
I'm drawing Superman. I get handed a joint by Chris. Chris hands me a joint. I take a hit. I look up. Mr. Belding from Saved by the Bell. He's over at the pool table spanking a naked girl. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm in the Real World suite with one of the biggest stars in America, watching the principal of America spank a stripper while I draw Superman. So all this happened. So later that night,
that's a good day.
It's crazy.
That's a good day, that is.
So later that night, we go to the premiere and we go to the after party, and there's this guy named Steve Chasman. He's the manager of he's like Jet Li's manager, Jason's manager, Lily Sobieski, a bunch of other directors. But he says to me in a very Hollywood way, I know why he's here. I know why he's here. Why are you here? Like what the fuck are you doing here at this party? And I said, oh man, I'm friends with him. I draw Superman for DC Comics. And he's like, you draw? And I said, yeah. And I showed him my work. So then he asked me what I thought of his client's work. And I was talking about the Transporter one. And I said, I genuinely enjoyed the movie. I said, but there's this scene in the Transporter one where they're fighting in a bus. And I said, it just felt really disjointed. If I had to give my opinion, it felt like it should have been something more, but wasn't. And he said, how could you know that? And I said, know what? He goes, that scene was supposed to be about 2 minutes longer, and they cut it up. And Jason was upset how much they cut it. I said, yeah. And he goes, have you ever done storyboards? I said, no, but I don't think they're too different from comics. He said, if we ever do a Transporter sequel, I'm going to give you a call. Okay, so that's stage one. The other one with Pharrell is that whole project fell apart, and his way of thanking me, and I'm sorry, thank you, is he introduced me to this commercial director named Paul Hunter. Paul Hunter directed a lot of really big ads. Like, I don't know if you remember the Nike ad where the sounds of the basketball were making a beat.
Oh yeah. Even I can remember that.
Yeah. That's Paul Hunter. So Pharrell told him that I was a must hire. Like, you have to do me a favor, Paul. Hire this guy. So I started storyboarding music videos with Paul. My work went around the office. I blew up in the music video commercial world. But lo and behold, 3 months after I started storyboarding for Paul and a bunch of other people, ring, ring, Dan, it's Steve Chasman. We're doing Transporter 2.
Wow.
And they pulled me into that movie. So next thing I know, I'm drawing storyboards for a movie. And it's all because I narrowed it down. It's all because I needed the car that day. If I didn't need the car that day, I wouldn't have checked the webcam. I wouldn't have met Chris. I wouldn't have met all these people. And it wouldn't have gone the way it did. So if I had to pick one moment how my life changed, it was needing the car that day. So that's.
I hope you never got rid of that car.
Well, I did. It's still hers. I mean, she's an ex-wife now. I think she's. I don't know what she's doing, but.
Damn.
That
car was gold.
Yeah. So there you go. There's all the crazy the crazy name droppings. So
how did the Ricky Gervais jig come along then?
Okay, well that in itself was quite interesting. So one of the guys that I worked with doing music videos is a director named Chris Robinson. And Chris Robinson does a lot of hip hop music videos, very popular, a lot of Alicia Keys, like You Don't Know My Name, and really great stuff. I think
Alicia Keys and I share a birthday.
Do you?
I think so.
She's so beautiful, man. You're beautiful too, but
so am I. Yeah, come on. I was waiting for that.
Yeah, you're beautiful too, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, so he got his first feature film, and he brought me along. It was a film called ATL, and it's a coming of age story about these kids growing up in Atlanta. And the main role was played by Tip Harris, aka T.I., the rapper T.I., and his character was an aspiring cartoonist. Okay. So Chris asked me, would you like to not only storyboard the film, but would you also like your artwork featured as T.I.'s artwork? So anytime they'd go over his shoulder. So I taught T.I. kind of how to fake to draw. But if you go and watch ATL, all of the artwork featured in that movie is mine. A lot of people don't know it, but that's like all my artwork. So how that relates to Gervais is one of the producers on that movie, a guy named Craig Knold. Banky, I think you might be right. My producer Craig Knold was producing a pilot over at MTV called The Hard Times of R.J. Berger, which is a story about this sort of nerdy kid who's an aspiring cartoonist who the school finds out he has a 14-inch penis, and all kinds of antics result. That's the pilot. It was created by some more name drops. David Katzenberg, that's Jeffrey Katzenberg's kid, and Seth Grahame-Smith, the guy who wrote Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies. So they created this.
I quite like that film.
Yeah. He that's his book. So in the pilot, there was this portion of the story where this girl, I forget her name, Japanese exchange student, every time she would see RJ, the main character, she would run away screaming, you know? So I got hired to do the same thing I did on ATL, storyboards, on-camera artwork. But they had this scene where his buddy, after they finds out about the big penis, he says, buddy, you've got, the biggest penis. That's the greatest thing ever. And he goes, no, you don't understand. It's a curse. And he's like, how is it a curse? And he says, remember so-and-so and why she screams every time she sees me? Well, it's because of this. And there's this flashback of when he's, her tutor, and she decides to go down on him and it hurts her. And they didn't know how to make that go into the pilot without it being nixed, and they really wanted it in there. And this guy, Neil, said, hey, why don't you just do the Kill Bill thing? And we're like, Kill Bill thing? They said, if it's too crazy, just animate it. And they all looked at me and said, can you animate? And I'm of the mind, you always say yes, and then figure it out, jump and build your wings on the way down.
Sure.
So I said, yeah. So they paid me $5,000 to do a minute of animation. I drew all of the elements, hired my buddy Dennis to work After Effects, and we did 1 minute animation that ended up in the pilot. Now this is where stuff got crazy. The pilot got picked up, and they said, are you ready to do this 11 more times with 11 different styles? We'll give you $20,000 an episode for a budget, but here's our schedule. And I realized that not only would I have to do 11 more episodes in 11 different styles, they were stacked on top of each other. There was no way I could pencil, create all the assets, direct all the things, move on to the next one. So I partnered with a company to help me out, a production company called Wildbrain. I gave them the budget. Of course, I had my line in the budget as the storyboard artist and director. While I was at Wildbrain, they were also the company that were producing Gervais. They lost their director at the end of season 1 and were left with an empty seat. And my friend Marge Dean, wonderful mentor, she proposed that I take that seat. And I had to go and meet with the executives at HBO. I had to meet with the producers. I had to have a phone call with Ricky. They all liked me and said, you're our new director. So that I basically transitioned over that way.
Damn. So you decide to come back into comics at some point.
Yeah.
You do your web comic. You're doing a panel a day for a year.
Yeah.
IDW picks it up.
Yeah.
Are you thinking returning back to mainstream?
No, not at all. In fact, I had no inclination for that at all. I wanted to do Black Flag as a graphic novel. And it wasn't until last summer that I got a call from Mattel. And Mattel, the thing that happened with Mattel, like I said, I was there for 5.5 years.
Yeah.
Directed a bunch of features for them, some of which are still on Netflix. There's one called Boo York where I wrote all the raps for all the rap parts. they had a serious financial problem. Like when I started in 2013, their stock was selling at $74. The day I was laid off, along with 2,200 other people, their stock was valued at almost $13.
Wow.
So when I was laid off, I went right back into doing storyboards. That's when I moved out here to work on Doom Patrol. I got a call from Mattel saying, "Hey, we're doing this this He-Man multiverse thing. We know you have this ability to draw in many styles." Like I said, I did Powerpuff Girls, and working on various styles on RJ Berger. I should send it to you. Let me see if I can send it to you right now. If people want to see all of the different RJ Berger shorts, Vimeo, they're all on Vimeo. I'm not allowed to put them on what do you call it, YouTube, because they get struck. But
Yes.
Vimeo, Dan Fraga. Actually, if you just search Vimeo Dan Fraga, it pops right up, and you can watch all. We ended up doing 2 seasons of the RJ Berger, so that you'll be able to see 24 different styles. So you can see we did claymation, we did cutesy, we did Japanimation, we did Beavis and Butthead style, we did Popeye style, we did all kinds of styles. So if people want to search Vimeo Dan Fraga, you can see those. So going back to this, Mattel said you're able to move fluidly in and out of styles. We have this book called He-Man Masters of the Multiverse, where we're going to need the artist to draw movie He-Man, Filmation He-Man, toy He-Man, video game He-Man, the new adventures of He-Man. We want you to do it. And I simply said right out of the gate, no, thank you. They asked me again about a week later. I said, no, thank you. They asked me again, and they said that Tim Seeley was going to be writing it. And I went, ah, shit. I love Tim Seeley. Okay. I said, okay, I'll do it. So I came back. It was scheduled for 6 issues. I only ended up doing 3 because my schedule on Doom Patrol and Legacies got overwhelming. I was working good 16-hour days, 7 days a week, and I was getting sick. So I had to let DC know, like, hey, and that's the thing. DC, the page rates, you can't live on them, so I had to make a big change and just say, hey, I'm just going to focus on boards. But that was my return to mainstream. But I've been working on my my Black Flag return since early 2018. I've been writing that story since 2018. So it was more about timing and getting it done. And I was going to do it. But like I said, in 2018, 3 things happened, which were kind of the universe rocking me. I'm a big fan of listening to what the universe tells us. I lost my job, my wife got pregnant, and we lost our house. Our landlord, his son was getting married, and his good guy. I mean, still to this day, Mike, the landlord, good guy, gave the house to his son as a wedding gift. So I was out of job, brand new, another person in my house. Now there's 7 people under my roof that I got to take care of, and I lost the house. So then we had to move completely cross country. It's 2,500 miles, and life changed. So I ended up putting Black Flag on the back burner until we got over here into Georgia and settled down, because the way TV works, as is seasonal. So I'll work a hard 6 months on the shows, and then I'm 6 months off. So my plan had always been, when the shows are off, I'm going to go do Black Flag. And then when the shows are on, I do those and kind of work it in tandem.
Sure. So you're trying to think of a way to get it together. You want to put it together in a graphic novel.
Yeah.
Where did the decision to go Comicsgate? Did you initially look at crowdfunding and then the Comicsgate side happened? Or
yeah, crowdfunding was the first inclination. One of my really good friends, he's in your chat, I see him right now, Michael Green, reached out to me about crowdfunding, and he showed me my friend Ethan's Cyberfrog campaign when it first started, and it had made, like, I don't know, it was like the first day he had made like $30,000, and I was like, holy shit, that's all I need to make my whole project. That's great, if I can do that, so crowdfunding was in my mind. I wasn't sure if I was going to go IndieGoGo, if I was going to go Kickstarter, and to quote I forget his name now. The kid in Ready Player One. Man, you know
I didn't see that film.
Okay, well, he says you don't need to clan up. You know, you don't need to clan up as far as like joining any sort of group. And I've always been peripherally CG friendly. I've known Ethan since 1995.
Yeah,
he's such a his personality hasn't changed, you know. And I remember I was sitting at my table at a convention signing. He slides over one of his Hall of Heroes Cyber Frogs, and he says, "My name's Ethan Van Sciver, and you're going to draw a cover of my book." He doesn't ask me; he tells me, and I look at the frog, I look at him, and I am tickled. I'm like, "Yeah, of course I will." Like, and I was dead serious. I'm like, I like the cut of his jib. I was like,
yeah, we call them cheeky chappies.
yeah, cheeky. He's a cheeky
cheeky chappy.
And I just dug it. So I did a cover for him, and he and I have been friends ever since. We, you know, when we were doing Wolverine together.
Which cover did you do, by the way?
It's a variant cover of #2. Like if you search Cyberfrog Fraga, let me look it up. I think it was a variant of #2 Frog.
Because I've got the originals as well.
Yeah, you don't have you might have it. You might have it. It's a popular one from what I understand. It's this one here.
Ah, I've seen it. I don't have that one, but I've seen it. I know which one. Yeah.
And it's and this is how you know it's legit. Right mirror. Right there is the Black Flag shield hidden in the background of the cover. So you know, Black Flag.
You do your little things as well.
Yeah, Black Flag and Cyberfrog have always been sort of joined. And if you look in that issue, I'm actually in that issue wearing this hat, rapping. So I've always been CG friendly, just sort of peripherally, but I've never been one to quote unquote clan up. But what it ended up happening through time, because I was still gearing up to put Black Flag out as a crowdfund, is I started seeing this thing. They call them SJWs. I call them Wokies. I don't call them that because the word justice is in there, and there's no justice.
Oh, it's all ironic. Don't worry. It's
all ironic. Yeah. I call them Wokies, but they're going out for control. But I'd never had it. I've always been able to be super objective and kind of look at it from the outside, like, hey, you know, that's stupid. Like I can look at some of the stupid decisions that they make, like making Iron Man a girl while Tony Stark is on the big screen. You know, like why'd you do that? I'm not opposed to changing characters, but when you make it's the identity politics behind it that bothered me.
Yeah, but they did exactly what they wanted to do. They had the biggest eyes on them at the time.
Yeah.
And so instead of trying to make money, because these people aren't interested in making money, they're interested in ideology, they made sure they had all their chess pieces in place for their ideology. Yeah. I want Iron Man. Here's Riri Williams.
Yeah.
Because that's what they wanted. That's what they wanted to show. So I think it was totally strategic.
Yeah, I'd been observing it from the outside very objectively, and just kind of felt like, yeah, that's lame. But also, you know, I think I also had that feeling of fear because I know Ethan and I know a lot of those guys. I knew the reputation, and of course, you go, you know, I'd been on Ethan's show and didn't care because I never said the words "I'm Comicsgate." I didn't say that. So there was sort of a safety in that, like, you know, that perhaps that genie asked me the question, do you want to know where everybody, you know, where you stand with everybody? Sure. And maybe I could say I was slightly scared about that, but it wasn't until it was mid-March. It was like right around March 13th, 14th, where somebody was talking shit on Cyberfrog, and they were the angle they were taking was that Ethan was scamming his audience, that they should be mad because Cyberfrog is a worthless piece of shit that was printed on shit paper, and that he should refund everybody. And I said, listen, man, I happen to enjoy Cyberfrog. I paid my $25 and I'm really happy. I can't wait till the next one comes out. And the guy, you know, went on to tell me I didn't know what I was talking about. I said, well, no, I worked in high school, I worked at a pre-press place. I actually know what it is, and it's actually a good printing job. And like, again,
it's not as if you've been around comics for 30
yeah,
years.
yeah. Well, I don't know if the guy knew who like, you don't want to say, do you know who I am? But like, I don't think he knew who he was talking to. And he kept ragging on it. And I said, listen, man, people aren't buying the book for the material it's made out of. They're buying it for the hard work and the story that's inside of it. Well, this guy proceeded to call me, he instantly called me a cuck. I didn't know what a cuck was. I had to look it up. Apparently, it's letting your wife bang out somebody in front of you and being happy about it. Not a cuck. Not a cuck. Called me a motherfucker. Told me I didn't know what I was talking about. Then when I showed him my credentials, he proceeded to call me like a Rob Liefeld has-been wannabe bitch, like all these names. And I was like, holy shit! Like all these things that I'd heard about, these wokies, these tactics that they use, they're real. And
they're filth.
Yeah,
they're just filth, dude.
Pure filth. And I literally just said, you know what? I am Comicsgate, and I want to thank you for that. And I thanked the guy. I said that. Well, that was me saying yes to the genie, because instantly people started calling me, asking me questions. And I got a phone call from a couple of people. Like, this is one of the things that I'm not sure because I haven't put them up that much. But for the past 2 years, I've been conducting interviews with professionals: Rob Liefeld, Mike Mignola, Neil Adams, Howard Chaykin, Larry Hama, Todd McFarlane, director Joseph Kahn, Josh Keaton, Dennis Cowan. Like, I have 25 interviews pre-recorded that I went and worked hard. And they're about creativity. It's about getting into the creative minds of these people to share with my audience, so they too want to feel fueled by their creativity. Well, one of them called me up and said, "You're pulling my interview. I don't want you to use my interview." And I said, "Why?" He goes, "I don't want to even be tangentially associated with Comicsgate." You could have let me know. Yeah, you could have let me know. You could have let me know when you interviewed me that you support racism and misogyny, and I was like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Do your research. You said you're part of a hate group, and I'm like, no, I didn't. So because again, I know all these guys, and afterwards I did proper research and see that it's all propagated by the other side. But then I got
they're just trying to create a villain, for them to fucking fight against. That's all.
So then I got another one of these. You got to pull my interview contacts, and the thing that really upset me was they said at the end of our correspondence, "Listen, man, I know you interviewed a bunch of other people, not just me. You need to go to them one by one and let them know that you're Comicsgate now, and let them decide if they want to associate with you." And I felt like I had an STD and I needed to call all my old partners or something. It was quite insulting. Like I really was like, wow, like that's kind of fucked up, because my interviews they're not even about comics. They're about creativity. I want to get into the minds of people, why they create, why they got into it. That it's all love and peace. Like, I didn't understand why he was saying that. And I was really upset. So I remember I was driving in my car, and this was April 1st. I was driving in my car, and I pulled over, and I was so pissed off that I made a video saying, I'm PG, and this is why. And that was it, man. That was it. I lost so many professional people I call friends. I lost, friends. I had people call me up. Is this an April Fool's joke? Come on, man. Like these sort of things. I said, it's not, dude. This is really what I'm about. I agree with all the edicts that Comicsgate are, which is Comicsgate are the fans. Comicsgate is respecting the fan, not putting in any sort of crazy agenda. My heroes are heroic. My ladies are also heroic and sexy, because sexiness is awesome. The violence is big, because that's the stuff I like to draw. I don't compromise. And another factor of what really pushed me over was my interview with Todd McFarlane. He and I were talking about the concept of freedom, and being able to make a decision based on what you want, not what you're afraid of. And I thought about guys like Jim Lee, and I thought about guys like my friend Rob Liefeld, and especially with Jim Lee, I thought to myself, Jim is amazing of a talent as he is, and as amazing of a nice guy as he is. He's not free. He can't, if he's pissed off about something, he can't say it because he represents DC Comics and he can't say it. He's not free. Rob Liefeld has his legacy of Cable and Domino and Deadpool. Even if he agreed with Comicsgate, he couldn't out and out say it because the fallout that would occur would change his legacy. I'm like, fuck that, man. My legacy.
Oh no, give it 6 months, and we might not have a mainstream anyway.
Right.
So fuck it all.
And what's crazy too, I had a conversation with Ethan about this a couple days afterwards. He said, you know, God, something to the effect that God's blessing shone upon me because I said I was Comicsgate, and then like 2 days later, the industry collapsed in on itself, and it was like, holy shit! I feel like Indiana Jones sliding underneath the door right before the shit closed. You know, amazing timing.
But it's really interesting because I spoke with Ethan a couple of weeks back, and after the podcast, you know, we're just saying, you know, thanks and goodbyes and stuff, and I said something to him because I said a couple of years, you know, I started following Ethan just as this whole Comicsgate thing started, you know, and I was like turning up to the streams and I was supporting the streams, you know, handing over cash, you know, super chats and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was just having a great time enjoying what was going on. I wasn't doing video wise. I was doing stuff about fucking World of Warcraft, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
You know, so I had my passion of comics.
And you're a Who fan too, from what I understand.
Yeah. Well, I'm a big geek. I'm just a big.
I have the unpopular opinion of that Chris Eccleston is my favorite, but go on.
Oh no, he's fine. He's great.
Yeah,
we like Chris. We like Chris. We just don't like Jody.
So you were right. Amen. I won't even watch that shit. So you were talking to Ethan.
Yeah, I'm just chatting to him, and I just said, look, Ethan, I said, I gotta be honest with you. I said, I wussed out. I wussed out because I was there right at the beginning when all this Comicsgate thing was happening, and I didn't understand what was going on. To me, I just saw this guy who had created amazing Green Lantern comics and stuff. Was ripping Star Wars. It was fun shit, you know.
Yeah.
While drawing his Frog comic. You know, and just entertaining people. And it was just a fun thing to be part of. And then suddenly, all of this fucking, oh, you're a bunch of Nazis, you're a bunch of white supremacists, it's a hate group, it's all this. And all these attacks and like doxes and trying to ruin people's careers. And then a whole Richard C. Mayer business. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on? You know, this guy's just trying to fucking draw some comics and have some fun. And I ended up just being like, I was on the verge of making a video about it at the time.
Yeah.
And then I just totally wussed out. I was just like, I don't need this. I don't need this. And I backed away. And then like, you know, kind of like towards the end of last year, about October of last year, I was just getting sick. Every single geekdom fandom just infiltrated by this filth. These fucking filthy people just tearing everything that people have spent decades upon decades creating, build up these wonderful fandoms, wonderful support, just tearing it all down so they could push their own fucking freak-ass ideology.
Imagine I had this video idea, right? And it was the hand of creators back, you know, in the 40s, setting down Jenga, setting up a Jenga tower, right? And you see Spider-Man get set in there by Ditko. You see the FF by Kirby and the Avengers. And you see this sturdy building. And then you see these blue-haired filthies come in and start flicking pieces out, right?
Yeah.
And then you see the thing kind of wobbling. And then you go wide and it says the comic industry. And then you see a gust of wind that says COVID. And it blows it all over.
Yeah, it was already falling though. You know, it was already falling. COVID just gave it a little bit of a push.
Yeah. So this was driving you crazy. You were seeing.
Yeah, it's just driving me crazy, and I was just like, "Fuck this! I'm not keeping quiet any longer." You know, I'm a big mouth bastard. You know, and
I loved how you ramp too, because I've watched some videos and you're like, "Don't worry, I'm calm, and by the end, you motherfucking,
you fucking piece of fucking shit. But it's just, I just could. It's like, nah, fuck it. I'm entering the culture war. I'm entering the culture war, and I'm picking my side.
Yeah.
And I'm picking the side which I believe is the side of reason and logic and normality.
Yeah, and you're not
because
trying to fuck up legacy.
I ain't changed. I haven't changed. I've not changed my politics. I've not changed who I am. In all the time that I've been collecting comics or watching Doctor Who and all this kind of stuff, or you know, whatever it may be. Right. And now these people, these freaks, these fucking filth, they just come along. Like today, I just did a video about the latest Batwoman episode.
Oh no!
And she killed somebody a couple of weeks ago, and she's a horrible fucking degenerate piece of filth anyway in the show. Worst character you've ever seen, and she's meant to be the hero,
right?
And the way that they've now justified her murder and her murdering somebody in the show is even though he doesn't appear in the show, he's been missing for 4 years. Oh, Batman did it anyway, so don't worry about it.
Oh,
and I was just like, fuck you.
Wow.
Just fuck you. What a way to absolutely piss all over. And I'm just like, do these people realize that their amazing IPs are getting torn to pieces, just shat on and pissed on by these fucking weirdos?
Yeah, some of them, because I'll tell you what, man, Doom Patrol is awesome.
I love Doom. I'm about halfway through the series.
There are no compromises, man. Have you got to the episode with the sentient butts?
No.
Okay,
I just
episode 10.
Past the. Oh no! I'm not up to that. I think I've got past. I think I'm in episode end of 5.
Yeah, dude. Doom Patrol is great. Doom Patrol is great, but yeah, from what I understand,
I think Titans is great. I like Titans as well.
I have a hard time giving it a watch, man. It's just one of those things where I go, not my Titans. You know what I mean? But maybe I'll give it.
Yeah, second season's a lot better than the first season.
They look nothing like Teen Titans Go. You know, it just.
Oh no!
No, I'm kidding.
No.
I'm kidding. I like Perez Wolfman, man. I'm a Perez Wolfman Titans.
Oh yeah. I've got that stuff as well. But yeah, season 2's better with Deathstroke. Deathstroke's in season 2. Yeah, and he's very good. So yeah, I saw Slade Wilson. Yeah, I saw your video where you made it in the car.
Yeah,
because I don't know where. I think it popped up on my feed on Twitter or something. I think somebody had retweeted it.
Yeah,
and just gone like Dan Fraga enters the game or something.
Yeah,
you start off like quite reasoned in that, and then by the end of it, you're kind of like fired up as well.
Because I started thinking about the whole thing again. The whole like, you better tell people so they know who they're dealing with. It's like the question I asked. Like, I had a couple people, like for example, Eric Larson. I've known Eric Larson since I was 14 years old. 14. Wow. And he was one of the guys that told me I would never draw comics. And here I am. But I almost feel like he was waiting for a reason, because in the 33 years that I've known him, have I ever exhibited any sort of behavior that could be labeled an ist or a phobe of any sort? Yeah. Have you ever seen me be mean to anybody, or have you seen me have integrity, be a man of my word, and treat people with respect? In that 33 years, which person have you seen? And the answer is the one you've always seen, the guy in front of you right now. So people bouncing out like that after years, that gets to me a little upsetting. You go, man.
Why so?
Yeah, well, if you're gonna believe, it's the idea of the fake news thing. Like people, like a micro example of that is when you go through your Facebook feed or your Twitter feed, and it's like, oh my God, so and so's died. And they're like, I can't believe it. And then you go, yeah, they died 7 years ago. Like you're propagating that they died today, or so and so died, and that person has to say, no, it wasn't me. I didn't die. But a lot of false news out there, and it being spread. But it's literally the instrument of the wokies. Like they're happy to have the world believe that Comicsgate is anything other than passionate creators and passionate fans, like anything, because it's in direct opposition to having agendas. You know, we have no agendas other than making good shit and making it on our terms and thinking of the fan first.
Let's have a look at some good shit.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's have a look at some good shit right here, shall we?
Hey, son.
Boosh. So
there we go.
This is your campaign.
That's my boy.
Hi. So your campaign, it's not even past the 2-day mark. You put this up.
We are.
You're coming up. You're coming up. Not quite. You're coming up.
We just hit 48 hours 2 hours ago. So
and on the first day, you hit 60,000 on the first day.
Yeah, kind of incredible, man. Like more than kind of. I mean, it's crazy. I got to plug in something for him. Give me a second. I'm sorry.
While you're doing that, I'll share this with you folks. I think one of my wonderful mods, Vanessa, has been putting this link in. This is a link that anyone can have a look at, and this is the PDF of Black Flag. Look at that, man. So you can actually have a look at the characters that we're dealing with here. Look at this. This is Fraga's stuff, you know. Look at this stuff. This is fucking beautiful. Damn.
I'm back.
Nice, dude. I'm drooling.
Oh, you too, buddy. Oh yeah, those are the fun characters, man.
Yeah, you got Rob. I could tell Rob's. You could tell immediately which one's Rob's.
Yeah, I had fun inking that. Oh, you got the PDF open.
Yeah, I'm showing the PDF off so you can.
There's Rascal. He's our resident alien. He's got morphing technology. He's sort of like the William Wallace of his homeland, and he escapes and he crash lands here in Dagger City and takes refuge with the Emoto Corporation, and in exchange, well, more out of gratitude, he starts to let them know about his technologies, which helps their company.
And all this is available for everyone to go check out.
Absolutely free. Yeah, it's a free download. Originally I was going to make it for early backers, but I thought, you know what, Black Flag belongs in everybody's hands. So I wanted to make sure people got to see the history of the characters and the story, and they can download it. I think the link, yeah, there it is. Vanessa Lore, your admin, was kind enough to distribute it there in the chat. So you can get that, give it a read, see if you like the book. The story that we have in this new Pineapple Perception continues the story that happens in 4. But the wonderful thing about the way we've structured it is, if you don't want to download this or don't want to get the back issues, you don't have to. We get fully updated on. We get updated in the first 9 pages of the new story.
But hey, if you got access to this for free, check it out, folks. Goodness sake.
Yeah, enjoy it.
You got it right here at your fingertips.
Yeah.
This is the previous stuff.
Yeah.
This will set you right up for the new book. But
yeah,
let's just jump back. So it's up for 24 hours on its 30-day campaign. You hit 60,000.
Yeah.
You're not even contemplating anything like that. How's it feel?
It feels incredible. It feels a lot like you asked earlier about how did it feel being hired out of high school and being there with the pantheon of comics. It feels a lot like that. You know, my chief aim with Black Flag is the idea to launch a new comic company, which is Incredible Comics. You can see the logo up there in the upper left of the cover. And I had a number in my head of what it would take to do that. You know, I wanted to make sure my guys are paid. I want to make sure the printing was taken care of and that this, the fulfillment was taken care of. I had a flat number in my head, and I was hoping to hit that in 30 days, and we hit it in 12 hours. It was kind of crazy.
I'll give you a couple. I'll give you a couple for free here, Dan.
Yeah.
That is a bottle opener, my dude.
Oh,
right
dude,
there.
I'm writing that down, man. That's fantastic. I'm gonna let let my merchandiser know. Yes,
that is
great.
open. You've got the grip there. That right there is a bottle opener, my dude.
Yeah, I like that.
And Fraga boom. Where is the grenade cup?
See, you're the second person that mentioned grenade. I didn't know you can do that because a grenade cup or a grenade
I've got
flask,
one.
like a flask, right? Like
no, I've got a grenade. It's a grenade like glass mug.
I love it. I'm gonna have to talk. I'm gonna have
you
to
can
talk
you
to
can
my,
get your Fraga boom
licensor
on it.
Heck
Yeah.
That's
there
great.
You go. Couple for free for you there, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's lots of
great idea.
Look, I mean, you're already sold out of the double page art spreads.
That's great. Yeah. You know, there are only so many that I could do in that first issue, and also my arrangement I have with my inker is that he gets a third of all the pages, so that you'll see that the distribution on the single pages and the double pages, you'll notice that there's a whole like 16 pages missing from 48, and that's because the inker will have them. So
there you go.
You know, you guys will be able to reach out to Shelby Robertson when it's all said and done if you want to get some from him.
You've got line art variant. People love themselves some line art variant.
Yeah. A lot of fun. And this is
I went with one of each. That's what I went.
Oh, my man. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to take the iconography of that original McFarlane cover and have our new team bursting out. And I wanted to make sure I had his permission, you know, and he granted it to me. I mean, I didn't. Here's the funny thing. It was more of a pleasantry, you know. I own the art, I own the characters. I could do it without it.
It's a respect thing.
It's 100% respect.
Of course, I get it.
Todd is my guy.
Because normal people have respect for others, unlike the Filth Brigade.
That's right. I've
got a tough question I need to ask you, Dan.
Yeah.
And I need you to be totally honest with us, dude.
Okay.
This cover here.
Yeah.
This or New Warriors? Safe Space and
which do I prefer?
Safe Space and what's the other one called? I can't even remember. Snowflake. Yeah, Snowflake, Safe Space. Morbidly Obese, Dora the Explorer.
Yeah, that's Trailblazer.
Frat Boy.
B negative.
Edgy. Which ones? Could you really call this better, or you know, have you been totally upstaged by?
It depends. I mean, if we're going to deal with subjectivity, which one would I rather use for toilet paper? I think New Warriors wins, man. I don't know. I think I'm going to give it to New Warriors.
I wouldn't even use it as toilet paper.
It might scratch that ass and you get some...
I wouldn't let it anyway. I might get an SD fucking D just from having it anywhere near my skin. It might just give me some... That's what I'm fucking worried about.
Yeah.
I won't say which one, but yeah, I think we could probably guess. Yeah. So this is it. Are you going to do just a 30-day campaign and then in demand, or are you going to
find out? I've been blessed with seeing guys like Ethan and Zach and following their lead on kind of what to do. So depending on where we're at 30 days, we may go to 60. I'm contemplating the in demand because I know it allows for people to pick it up, but I also might want to just stop it. You know, I talked with my facilitator last night, and we were talking about issue 2 and when we're going to do it. You know, Ethan and I were talking about, you know, self-fulfillment or getting a fulfillment company, and I'm of the mind that I need to be constantly working and constantly drawing. So I have my fulfillment company coming in to take care of things so I can start working on number 2. So my main plan, as soon as this is done, is to make sure it gets done. People will see updates if they subscribe to my show, Couch Doodles, here on YouTube.
I think we've been putting the link out for that as well.
Awesome. Yeah, if they want to subscribe to Couch Doodles, I do live streams where you can watch me draw the page as I go. I do it digitally.
Look at that. I mean, this here. Jesus, dude, that is fucking outstanding.
I'm going to be posting a time lapse of that pretty soon. I just have to edit it and put the music in, but we're going to do a time lapse so people can watch that come into fruition. But while once I go, I want to basically get right into the next one. Soon as this is in people's hands, we're going to run the next campaign for issue 2, because this is a
so what's the plan with all of it? How many parts are you planning?
It's 4 parts. It's 4 parts, and the I'm just going to let you know the cliffhanger at this one, at the end of this one, is one that is going to be quite polarizing. I'm either going to get fans that go "fuck you," I'm "fuck you," is they're going to say. But what I say is it's an ending a lot like Empire Strikes Back, where you're going to be like, "What?" And so the name of the second issue is Black Flag WTF, and it stands for Walk Through Fire. But I'm hoping that people on the other side of at the end of this one will be saying "What the F," and I immediately need to start showing preview pages of the second issue, because I want to assure people that everything is okay.
Hey, dude, if you're telling a story,
I'm telling a story.
Then that's fine.
It's going to mess with people's emotions in the best way, because in my 30 years as a professional storyteller and the variety of things that I've walked you through here, being a comic book artist, a storyboard artist, a director, a voice director, as someone who crafts story, I realized the most important thing in any sort of content is feeling. 100%. It's like, how does a song make you feel? How did you feel when you walked out of that movie?
Absolutely, yeah.
So
a smell, a touch, the whole thing.
Yeah. So this book is this series, this 48 pages. I'm taking a cue after Dark Knight. That's my favorite comic series of all time. So then people can get a slipcase and put them all together. And then at the end, we'll do a 5th campaign for the IDW style artist edition, full size, black and white of the art, so people can get a look. Hey, son, can you hand me the underneath that hat, that piece of art? Just wanted to show you what the cover looks like. The McFarlane art belongs to a collector from a long time ago.
Hold on, let's.
You want to full screen me?
I'm trying to work out how I can. Oh, that's
me.
I don't
the big square next to my face.
Okay, hold on. Let's get you back then. Big square next to your face. Yeah, boom.
No, that's your screen.
That one.
There we go. So this is the artwork to the cover number 1, Sans and McFarlane, and I'm not sure if I'm going to part with it or not, but if I do, it'll end up being a tier, sort of like a last edition tier. But you can see all of the fun details of the team in here. You still around? Where'd you go? Did you kick yourself? I wonder if he kicked himself. I hope he didn't kick himself. Is that you want to say hi? Hi. All right, go back, play your game. I'll show you guys some sketches, man. So when I was in Miami, I was working on designing Geisha's outfit, and this is where I came to the conclusion of what her outfit would be like. Obviously, the numbers aren't up on her leg in this design yet, but you're going to see how important numbers are to this series. So issue 3, we're going to be offering a Christmas story style decoder pin that you're going to need. It is the Fraga show. I'm going to go over to my spinner rack and grab some of the original issues, and we can walk through them so you guys can see the collection. Hold on a second. Let me mute this. I'm back. So here we go. Az was talking about, or AZ, I gotta ask him, is it Az or AZ? He was talking about having the Black Flag collection, and I'm going to show you guys some firsts. I don't have the first trading card that featured Hellfire, but this is the very first appearance of Black Flag, the Geisha, Gorilla, and Sniper. And Sniper right here is drawn by Rob Liefeld and inked by Art to Bear. This particular one is signed. We got Kurt Hathaway signature. We got Chuck Jones. We got Dre, DRE, Marat Michaels. But the very first appearance of Sniper is this picture right here. And fortunately, I still have that art. This is the first appearance of Sniper right there. So then some of the rarer versions, the ones that you kind of have to look around for, are this thing called Extreme Hero. That's this one here, which has some of the files. You learn a little bit about Geisha, a little bit about Gorilla. In this, let's see here. This is a rare version of the Extreme Zeros, San Diego Comic-Con. This was done before sketch covers were done. My phone is dinging. I wonder who that is. And then we have this thing called the Ash Can. This is in the campaign. You'll see a mention of an Ash Can. This is the original, 1994 Ash Can.
Boop, boop,
There he
boop.
is. You're back. You're back, man.
It looks like it's an owly thing by the looks of it.
It might be on a cycle, man. I was giving people the run through of the Black Flag collection here. So no, I'm done. You go back. You go back.
Oh, I'm gonna kill Volta.
Yeah. Send him some of that grenade juice, man.
Send some of that Fraga boom.
Yeah.
So your campaign's just exploded to start with.
Yeah.
It's got off to a phenomenal start. I can't see
bigger
this
bigger start than I ever thought it could. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't see this not being part of the six-figure crew. This looks absolutely 100% set to do.
Well, I'll tell you, if that happened, that's gonna ensure a few things. I mean, I put some stretch goals in there that are really kind of silly. You know, I got if we hit 75, they get. I'll show you the cover. This is the original first issue. The one with the Todd cover was a preview edition, and it was all in black and white. This is the official first issue, which had this triple gatefold cover. You know, it was full of detail, full of crazy art. So what's going to happen? This is going to be recolored and offered as a fold-up poster. So that's going to be offered when we hit 75K. When we hit 100, I will be adding stickers to everyone's order. When we hit 125, we'll be adding more cards to the add-on pack. When we hit 150, we're going to do a new add-on issue of Black Flag 0.5, where I bring back all of the original crew from Black Flag 0 to do some more origin stories. I don't know what'll happen beyond that, because I originally didn't have stretch goals. I didn't know if I would need them because I didn't know I'd hit these numbers. If we hit a certain number, I was told I have to wear a pink bunny like Ralphie from Christmas Story, so I got to go look about getting one of those.
A bunny onesie?
A bunny onesie, yeah. And then if anybody wants it, I'm going to make the number absurd. If we hit 200, everybody's order is going to get a download of a Fraga Boom mixtape, and not the mixtape that came out in 1994. I will make a brand new 10-song mixtape that goes in everybody's order.
So after all you got your plan for Black Flag, you got your 4 episodes planned out for Black Flag.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself going next? Do you see?
I do. I do. I am very Japanese minded. There's a saying that they say Americans think of the next quarter, Japanese think of the next quarter century. And I play chess, and I try to think about all of the things as they transpire. And what I want to do, I have other projects that I created. I have a book that I put out in the late 90s called SWAT. If anybody's familiar with the book by Mark Millar called Kick-Ass.
Oh, yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, this is where he stole that idea from. I say that tongue in cheek because the idea space is the idea space. Somebody is asking about the mega box. The comic is not included in the mega box. That's a separate order. That's just if you want all the shit without the comic, or if you get the comic and go, you know what, I want all the stuff. It's a separate deal. So this is SWAT, right? This is about these two kids who have supervillains come into their town, and they decide they want to fight crime. They don't have any powers. They just go to the hardware store and they buy stuff to beat it. And they beat things with science. If somebody has mechanical arms, they beat them a la MacGyver A-Team style. This came out in 1998. So this is a book that I'd like to bring back. I had a book also called Gear Station that I'm going to bring back. I have a new concept called Switch that I have a novelist and a comic book artist. I'm in talks with them to work on. And then I have another book that I was developing with Robert Kirkman back in the mid 2000s called Big Time. This one I'm really excited about. Big Time is about, it's kind of like Night of the Comet meets 12 Monkeys. So basically something happens to the human race where we're shrunk down to the size of a Star Wars action figure, and we don't know why. And the story takes place 25 years after that incident happened. So we have complete overgrowth of fields. You know, our utopia no longer works. You have asshole rich people that still try to be rich, and they live in doll houses and try to live as it was. And you get this sort of crazy adventure of this post-apocalyptic world, but shrunk down.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening is they figure out time travel. And the reason we couldn't figure out time travel, it was a level of scale. They realized at this small, we could send people back in time before the incident to figure out how and why it happened so we can make people big again. But the reason it's called Big Time is because in that 25 years, a whole new generation of people were born small and have no idea what it's like to have lived big. And they call the time before Big Time, and they call all the people that lived in that time Big Timers. So that's another book that Incredible Comics wants to offer in the next few years. But it was all a dream. It was all a dream until I hit launch on that day, and now with it just outperforming expectations. Black Flag is outperforming expectations to where now I can start reaching out. I had a talent search. I can start taking a look at these inkers and colorists and writers and start putting them to work, because we have the capital. We got the extra capital now from Black Flag, which is just a blessing.
I'd bring it back up, but I'm online, but my internet's not working for some reason.
You're here though. I can hear you.
I'm here, but I'm here. This is the weird thing. Yeah. So it's all a bit weirdy woo at the moment. YouTube seems to be the only thing that's functioning on the PC right now.
Okay,
so
good.
We've gone through your kind of history, and we've gone through your move into Comicsgate and whatnot.
Yeah.
As somebody that has been part of the mainstream industry for so long as well, you've gone through kind of like the independent circuit, but you've gone into DC, you've gone into Marvel.
Yeah.
Do you see them getting out of this? Do you see the mainstream recovering from this, or do you think this is it? Time's up.
It's the old. I think it's an Einstein quote. You're not going to solve a problem with the same line of thinking that got you in the problem in the first place. They number one, they need to take a fire hose out to the filth. They need to go back and do their market research on the whole shebang. What is consistently sold in the history of comics? What has consistently sold? There's that.
No, you're coming at it from a logical perspective, though.
I know. You're
coming from a business perspective.
I'm a logical man. And then here's the other thing. I hear a few different arguments about how kids don't read comics, but then my 6-year-old back there is saying I do. And then the people that will resist that, say, yeah, well, what about Smile, and what about Captain Underpants and the success of these other books? And you know, some of the wokies will go, well, that's how all comics should be. No, that isn't.
Oh, come on. No.
Now she's just,
we're still here. Phew.
yeah, my daughter's just now getting into Monster High. She can't even buy Monster High anymore. They're not on the stands. They're not available in the stores. But she's so voracious. She wants everything Monster High because she can go on YouTube and see that stuff. Where the kids are obviously they're playing video games. They're on YouTube. They're watching TikTok. Some of them are on Instagram, depending on their age. What we need to do as a comic industry is be where the people are. Be where your customer is. Don't try to, you know, you're not going to get somebody in on something if you're not at their level. And what you got to do, like if I did some TikTok videos featuring Black Flag, I know what makes my kids laugh. I know what makes them into other things. If you put something out, they want to see more of it. And if you show them more of it and you show them a way to get more of it, you can lead them the way to the comics. Kids still like to read.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not even remotely convinced that I mean, I personally think they're not putting out any material that people want to read. So
right.
The trap is to treat kids like idiots. Kids aren't idiots. Kids are very astute. Kids are great at manipulating parents. They're great at getting their own way. Yeah. Kids are very astute. They might not have the kind of the world experience that we have. Of course they don't. But kids are they know what they like and they know what they don't like. And this garbage, which is just being thrown onto the mainstream shelves, and it's been thrown on for years upon years now. You're literally teaching the next generation of audience not to touch your comics.
That's right.
That's what you're teaching them.
Well, dude, we've had I mean, I'm not going to say it's a good thing because people are dying, but I'm always the guy that's trying to find the silver lining in any situation. A lot of times the best way to get something to work again is to turn it off and turn it on again. You know, the good old reset. And we've had that. Nature gave it to us. So I feel like there's a great opportunity right now. And Comicsgate is really leading the way because here we are, we're thriving and surviving during these times. And we can look at the content of our comics and our respect of the fan as sort of a model of how they should behave in the future. And I'm not even saying like the crowdfunding model. I'm talking about our content. You know, there's a respect for our reader that exists, and listening to the fan because they're CG as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's look, you go to your local news agents. There's still newspapers every day. There's still magazines coming every week.
Yeah.
But the comic industry can't produce because of Diamond totally buckling after a week and a half. But unless they have a complete change in the product that they're going to put out, but you can't do that when you got people like Sam Amanat at the top because she doesn't want to change what they're putting out. She wants to keep that going. She wants to push that line. DC, they're in a slightly different position because now AT&T are on top there. Yeah, AT&T want money.
Yeah,
and if AT&T are serious, then they've got to clean out house. They've got to get rid of this filth.
Yeah,
if you're not making us money, then go.
I'll tell you what's really odd, and it's the thing that is perplexing, is when you look at all of the successful content outside of comics that are comic book based. They're based on solid stories that were laid out, you know, as far back as 40 years ago. What are they going to do with the new stuff? Like Wave 4, what is Wave 4 of Marvel movies going to be about? You know,
it's going to be about people not turning up to the cinema.
Yeah, I'm outside. Like, out of that new lineup, I want to see a new Black Panther and a new Doctor Strange, and that's all I'm interested in. That's it. You know, and if they keep giving us, if they're filling, it's like Social Security over here in the States. If eventually, if there's less being put in, it's going to get to the point where the well is dry, and then what? You're going to kill your own. You're going to kill your own properties. It just seems so damn short-sighted.
They're killing their own properties right now.
Yeah, it's short-sighted.
But well, it's because the decision makers are people coming from an ideological standpoint and not coming from a business standpoint. So the first wave of Marvel, of course, that was built on taking these heroes and let's build a universe and let's make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And that carried on very successfully.
Yeah.
And now, midway through the 2010s, this infiltration, which had been slowly happening for the last previous 5 years, has now taken the reins.
It's so crazy. It's crazy, man.
It's mental.
It's like mold. It's like mold, you know. But I think you could get rid of.
I think it's like cancer is more appropriate.
Yeah, it is. But hopefully it's not the kind of cancer that can't be cut out. You know?
Yeah, hopefully it's the kind that can be cut out. Yeah, it's operable. But I saw this particularly with DC. I thought if DC really want to stand any chance of making a comeback now, instead of going, I mean, I know 5G is probably dead, but if I was DC, I'd seriously look at resetting all your books. And then when I say reset,
what is 5G? What a horrible name!
Oh, it's the whole thing was the whole thing was horrible. But if I was DC, I'd say, look, let's reset everything, but not just reset the books. I'm talking reset the characters. Day one Batman, day one Superman, day one Wonder Woman, day one Green Lantern. Rebuild these universes again.
Yeah.
Go, and that way you can cut the chaff, you can concentrate on your main stars.
No, but what if I don't know, I'm gonna spaghetti toss now. What if
sure.
What if they wanted to make Batman, I don't know, Chinese and wanted his parents to not be killed in a movie theater and wanted Dick Grayson to be a little chubby wanker that he meets at private school. I mean, what if?
Well, what if they did that? If they did that, and then they said they're trying to attract the YA audience, that was something. This is something I actually spoke with Ethan about, and I said, well, when I was a kid, my YA was The Dark Knight Returns.
That's right.
My YA was Grant Morrison's Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
My YA was The Killing Joke.
Amen, brother.
That was my fucking YA stuff,
Yeah.
So if you want to put this I'd say toilet roll, but it's not even toilet roll because I wouldn't even shit on it. Yeah. I wouldn't even give it my shit. It's too good for that paper. Yeah. You want to put that in front of me, and you want to call that Batman. You want to call that a reinvention. Fuck you.
Right.
Fuck you and fuck your property. And guess what? This is why you're burning. This is why your industry is burning. Because some dipshit editor said, let's go ahead with this. Let's put a middle-aged woman who's never read a comic in her life, who's never heard of fucking Batman past her husband knowing who Batman is, who just writes big bean-flicking novels for other middle-aged women.
Bean-flicking.
Yeah, bean-flicking novels. That's what she does. That's all she does. She just does bean-flicking novels.
You're
going to give... Yeah, let's give you Batman. Let's give you the Batman universe to create a... Fuck you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, massive fuck you. Who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
What a total disrespect of Bill Finger and Bob Kane. What a massive disrespect of 80 fucking years. Well, but 80 fucking years of whatever.
All day. But yeah, dude, I think you're right. And also, I think there needs to be a bit of a change of format. I think, and this will sound crazy, but from someone who's got a book that's, I'm charging $25, but I'm making sure I give people that value. I feel like there needs to be in the comic market when and if it comes back. I feel like there needs to be sort of two versions of things, right? You can get a car, right? I can go buy a car that's it'll get me from point A to point B, or I can get a luxury sedan with all the bells and whistles and navigation. They're both cars. They both get you there. It's your choice of which one you get. I feel like there needs to be floppy comics that are under $3 that a kid can walk in and walk out with $5. How crazy is it that someone's got to shell out $9 to get a Marvel comic? Like, that's insane to me. That
the prices for floppies for $4.99 at Minute is ridiculous.
Yeah,
and it's absolutely ridiculous.
And I feel like also that there needs to be that sort of upscale. Like, I'm going to talk about liquor right now, but liquor is not for kids. Kids don't drink. But you got bottom shelf and you got top shelf and you got everything in between. You know what I'm saying? And I think the comic market right now all thinks it's top shelf. It doesn't matter who it is, that they're all acting top shelf, where there needs to be accessible middle ground. You see it in your cereal aisle. Where do they put the kids cereal? They put it where the kids can see it. Where do they put the healthy shit? They put it up where the the overage the guys like me look. If they started doing that with comics, a retelling of Batman for this audience. Here's your sort, not Spidey easy reader stories, have a little more faith in your reader than that, but you can have your Dark Knight and your sort of more hardcore stuff here for the 13, 14-year-olds. You have the high end, stuff for dad and mom down here. I don't know. There's a lot of things that can be done. I just don't think they're thinking outside of the box. They're trying to, it's this, I say to if you are a buggy whip maker, in the turn of the century, when the automobile is coming along, trying to make a better buggy whip is not going to save your life. You know what I mean? You need to understand that cars are coming. So learn how to make tires. If you want to stay in the transportation business, which is what you love, learn how to make tires. And that's what the industry needs to do. They need to stop trying to make buggy whips, because the horse and buggy's gone.
The industry's lost a lot of testosterone, is what it's lost.
Oh, yeah.
It's lost a lot of testosterone.
Anybody wants
a lot of estrogen.
Anybody wants testosterone, they go pick up Black Flag. I soaked every issue in Mountain Dew and titty milk.
Yeah.
Just so
it
you
looks like it.
Get that high tea,
But you just look, I mean, you look at a comment like that and you're just like, fuck's sake,
Yeah.
Where can you get? I'm just thinking, where can you legitimately on the mainstream get something like this? The answer is you can't.
Barely. I mean, a Tim Seeley comic, you can get it in Bloodshot. Like he did it.
Mainstream. I'm talking Marvel, DC. I'm talking your mainstream. Okay, you ain't touching. You ain't getting this.
Yeah.
You're getting simps and you're getting cucks.
I love,
and you're getting soy.
These are all new words I'm learning, man. It's so great. Like when I worked on the Gervais show, he was calling Carl all kinds of names, like a mank and a div and like all these things. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I find out what it is. And now that I'm in this culture where I'm like, oh yeah, cucks and simps and all these wonderful names.
But it's just full of it. And it's just like, this was back in the 90s, but back in the 90s, this is my norm. This is what you saw on the shelves. Yeah. This is what you saw groups doing. This is what you saw heroes doing. This is what you saw fights. Now, you've got fucking She-Hulk sat down, supping tea and eating a frappuccino sandwich with a friend discussing them feelings. It's like, fuck off.
Yeah.
You've totally destroyed your own industry. Go fuck yourself.
Someone in the chat brought up Venom and Carnage. Yeah, Ryan Stegman is one of the good guys. I'll tell you that. Ryan draws some really good teed up stuff. But I feel like he's been what do they call that on a garden hose? A limiter. It could go full spray, but it's been limited out. Well, I feel like it's slightly limited. I think he's one of those guys that if he was let to go, he would.
I think on the second page of Black Flag, somebody lost their head. So that's always a good thing.
Yeah. Right.
Let's get through some super chats. Let's go through some super chats. Let's see if there's some questions here for you as well. Let's scroll down a wee bit. Comics Exposed with a $2 super chat. Thanks for bringing Fraga Boom or Fraga Boom. We've established Fraga Boom.
We're going to call it Fraga Boom. We're going to do that. It's good. Word modifier.
Fraga Boom for Fraga Boom. Dan Fraga, Fraga Boom though. Fraga Boom on. Good on you, Az. Thank you. It was a privilege. Trust me, it was a privilege to get Dan on. I really wanted Dan on as soon as I saw it.
It's not AZ, it's Az.
Az, yeah.
Okay, because I'm a fan of a rapper called AZ, and he's called AZ, but it's spelled the same.
No, I'm not. I'm a white boy, so I'm just Az. Right. I'm not something as grandiose as AZ,
A to Z, man. Alpha Omega.
I'm Az. No, I'm just Az. I'm basic boy. But yeah, when I saw Dan's video in the car, that's what really got me interested. Because you could clearly tell from the start of the video that you're a regular guy. There's no kind of pretentiousness here. This was a guy who just was like, right, yeah, I'm Comicsgate. This is why I'm Comicsgate, and you know, the way that you kind of told the story, you could tell that there was a lot of hurt there. You know, there's legitimate hurt. There was legitimate. You know, you felt like you had been betrayed by people, and
heroes, man. So some people that did that were they fulfilled my darkest fears in saying I was Comicsgate. They made it happen. But what was really interesting about it is instead of feeling broken, I actually felt reborn. I felt like a husk had been burned off of me.
But it's just so sad that these people are just they're either ignorant or they're brainwashed.
Right.
Because this is you know, the reason why I think a lot of people come and buy Comicsgate stuff. I bought a ton of Comicsgate stuff. Is because I'm a customer and I want to be treated like a customer.
Right.
You know. Yeah. I want to be, you know, it's my money that I'm handing over for your product. So number one, if you've got a product that I'm interested in, I'm here. But number two, if you turn around and just tell me to fuck off because I like red and you like blue, then
that's some ridiculous shit too. That drove me nuts, man. Like I wouldn't call myself a conservative. I wouldn't call myself a full-on liberal. I'm somewhere in the middle, maybe a little left-leaning. But when I see things like coming from higher up saying, if you voted for Trump, I don't want you buying my books. The fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I'm left-leaning. I've always voted left. I don't recognize this fucking thing.
Right.
And I think, to be quite honest with you, anything sort of right of me right at the moment is just normal.
Right.
But you know, this thing over here, that's fucking I don't see you at all. Yeah. And so even when I hear people saying, oh, you know, if you voted for this or you voted for that, go fuck yourself. You're just like, you are an absolute moron.
Yeah.
You are a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot telling customers to fuck off.
100%.
Divot. Absolute divot. D-Drum NL, a bit of the old Ultra with a €2 super chat. Hail Fraga. Well, Fraga now.
Yeah, Fraga.
Hail Fraga and Az. Let's get this brave gent over 70K.
I would love it. I would love it.
That is the next goal. Let's just have a quick little sifty poo. Where are you at the moment? Just as a little sifty poo. 69,488. Just 512.
Are you serious?
Away from 70. Just $512. If you think about super chatting and you can't support the book, I'd say just support the book and don't worry about the super chat, folks. Just stick it to the book. Hatch 450 SX with a $5 super chat.
That's a familiar face. Yeah, I love that. I love Hatch.
Hail Boom of Fraga. We'll call it, if it's Fraga, Boom of Fraga. I like that.
Boom of Fraga. That sounds
Fraga
like,
Boom. Yeah. Boom of Fraga, though.
I like it.
Because that's more genteel.
Yeah.
Remember when you were scared to launch?
I was scared to launch, man. I didn't know what
Pre-Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Yeah. That's excellent. Well done. Oh, that's great.
Congrats, Fragaboom! Gladly backed. You're killing it. Amen.
You. Thank you so much.
Tom Jensen with a £5 super chat. Great chat, Az. Keep up the awesome work, mate. Dan, I'm supporting Black Flag. Truly amazing stuff. All the best from Tom.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you very much.
There's been some good support of it tonight. I'm really, really chuffed, folks. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Poland 805 with a 2 US. Dan, have you spoken to Todd since becoming CG? Hail.
Yeah. Yes, I have. It was a conversation about toys. And I want him to do the Black Flag toys. He gave me a congratulations about how the book looked. This was pre-launch. And he said, make some really great toys. So you hit step one, but you need the bigger step, which is to bring a boatload of people that want them to be toys. And I said, I'm launching on Saturday. I hope to give you your boatload within the next year. So hopefully we'll get some McFarlane toys out of the thing. But yeah, he gets it. He understands. I mean, come on, this is the guy who started Image Comics. So
yeah, he's a businessman. He knows about making money. And his Kickstarter is just
2 million, man. 2 million. He hit 2 million. What an incredible
ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I will back that as well.
Yeah.
I'm not a Spawn guy,
Me
I'll
neither.
back it I'll just back it for.
I'm a big Todd guy though. So when it's something, like when it's a first, I want to be there on the ground floor, and that's a first. You know, Todd.
Yeah.
Starting.
I've got his Batman 423 black and white model on order.
Yeah,
the cover. He did the cover for Batman 423.
He's kind of hugging the girl. Is that the one?
Yeah, they're taking the girl out, and they've just got Batman, but that's his black and white. And I love collecting those black and white, those Batman black and whites.
Oh yeah, I got my Frank Quietly one.
Oh well, I've got my Jim Aparo. I've got my Norm Brayfogle. I've got my Sean Gordon Murphy one.
He's fantastic.
Yeah. But I mean, Aparo and Brayfogle for me, because they were on Detective and Batman at the time when I started collecting.
1989 right now, man. 88.
Oh,
I know.
Yeah, and they just went through. They just went through and probably till 93, 94. Graham Nolan took over on Detective.
Okay, tell me this. Did you call when it was Death in the Family where they could kill Jason Todd? Did you pick up the phone and call?
I started collecting comics in 92.
Okay, well, I helped kill Jason Todd. I just want to let you know. I was
the deed had already been done by then.
Kill. Yeah.
Well, they dangled the carrot. What did they expect? They dangled the carrot.
That's right.
There was some really interesting stuff with Jason Todd prior to issue 400.
Yeah.
When they developed him originally and had all the Ishmael stuff and that, it was there was a character that they messed up with there, and they kind of wussed out with the death in the family. But I mean, don't worry, it's a great story, and it set up future great story.
And those Mignola covers are unbelievable.
Oh, hell yeah, Mike Mignola. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh god. You're gonna get me off. Keaton Smith with a £5 super chat. Oh, they were just bueno. Fraga boom. I've backed Black Flag.
Thank you.
The Black Flag Red Sonja crossover variant. Can't wait for them to come out. They look awesome.
Thank you.
I actually backed that as well. I backed your Red Sonja cover. Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm supposed to be getting a t-shirt of that really soon. They said they were going to send me shirts and they're going to be fulfilling those. So I can't wait to get mine.
I might have got a t-shirt for that as well.
Cool. Gotta rock that thing, man.
I got a t-shirt. Well, I mean, I think I might have ordered one. I'm just having a look. Yes, I did. Dan Frager's limited edition Black Flag cover. I went with the all 3 Red Sonja covers and exclusive t-shirt. Aren't I a sweetheart?
You are. Baby needed shoes. So we're let's see. Let me check this tracking info because this should have came a long time ago. Monday, April 27th. It's supposed to come today. Oh. Yeah, I'll hide my address, but it's supposed to come today. Yeah, that's excellent. I'm going to be wearing that on my stream today. That makes me happy.
We're up to 69,574. We are 426 from 70K.
Holy shit.
Yes, Keaton, thank you so much, dude, for that. Yeah, can't wait for them to come. They look awesome. 100 hashtag and a party flag. Ryan McLeish with a $2 super chat. Hail Dan. Hail, sir.
Hail.
Shane O'Reilly with a €5 super chat. Hi, my internet crapped the bed for 20 minutes. You wouldn't mind repeating everything you just said, would you? Shadow, I should say. Shadow books 1 to 4 arrived today. Excellent. I was a big fan of Mike Grell's Green Arrow.
Oh yeah, well. Mike Grell's great. Yeah.
Yeah,
Warlord and all that good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the first things I picked. Once I got into the Batman, and I was chatting to the comic shop, little store in Leeds in a marketplace, and I said, "Is there anything else like any other like characters you'd recommend if I'm into Batman?" and he put a copy of Mike Grell's Longbow Hunters.
Awesome.
In front of us and said, give this a try. And I read the Longbow Hunters and I was just like, fuck yeah, I'm up for this. And then I started collecting the Mike Grell ongoing. Death Metal Hero with $2 super chat. Black Flag is only well,
Luke.
He says Black Hat Flag is only $1,116 away from 70k. Not anymore. 426. So, guys, you've been fucking awesome.
Somebody was telling me that I need to do an edit. There's an edit. It says I created black. No, maybe they're wrong. All right. Yeah, they were saying that there was an edit needed in my thing, but maybe they were joking.
Oh. 3 streams with a $5 super chat. Thanks for the excellent stream. Thank you for the super chat, dude. Your friend Michael Green with a $2 super chat. Back Black Flag today. Let's get Dan over 70k today. The link, if you do want to support it, folks, if you heard anything that you've liked the sound of today, if you've liked the look of the stuff, the link is in the description box down below. So's the PDF.
If you're on the fence. Yeah, if you're on the fence, download the PDF, take a look, see what those characters are about.
Check it out. Make a decision. Make an informed decision.
Yeah.
Tom Jensen with a £2 super chat. You've just hit 800 backers. You're now on to 808 the last time I checked. So past 800 backers, 808. He says, sipping some water and just getting that. Shane O'Reilly with another €2 super chat. Just backed Black Flag and the cards.
Awesome.
There you go.
I saw a question in the chat too. Somebody asking about on the head sketches if they can pick. If you buy the combo altogether, it's randomly inserted. If you buy the one that is a head sketch, if you buy a book and then say I want a head sketch and you add it, you can pick the character. So that's how we arranged it. Otherwise, it would have been super convoluted.
Right. There you go. Zero Duality with 2 Canadian. Are there any signed items? Asking for my addiction. I think they're all signed.
Yeah, everything's signed. Every comic, every ash can you get is signed. The only thing that's not, well, the cards, when you get the cards, you'll get a signed card, but the shirts and shot glasses and dog tags and coin are not signed, but all the books are. All the books and ash.
Neither is the future bottle opener.
Oh, the bottle opener. I should hide a little thanks as right in there somewhere.
It's just that is a bottle. It's you are wearing that is a bottle.
It is. I gotta save stuff for the second issue.
Oh maybe. No, sorry, second issue. Give you plenty of time to work in a way to get it. Yeah. Sean Connery versus Applesauce with 50 Danish Corona. Hey Frag. If I buy the mega box, is the comic included or is it a separate order? P.S. Love the cap. Have you considered making a beret?
Answering them one at a time. The Fraga Boom mega box is just all of the add-ons. There are no books or ash cans. It's the dog tag, shot glasses, coin, cap, cards, and shirt only. And then what was the other part of the question? Sorry.
The other part is, have you considered making a beret?
Yeah, we considered making a beret, but then I saw what Rusty looked like in European Vacation with a beret on, and I thought,
but that guy got some European titty.
He did. That was the only time we got to see Booby in that.
He got some great German titty. God bless Germany.
I love him.
I do.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah, big fan of your work, love.
Yeah.
Both of them. Planet Tobor TV with a $5 super chat. Hail Fraga. Fraga boom. With crossed swords. I like it. Thank you very much. Hail to you, sir.
Hail.
Hatch 450 SX back again with $5 super chat. Reset DC to day 1. I lose Red Hood and Cassandra Cain, my favorite DC characters. I don't think that's really fair either. Well, I think they're going to have to adjust which comics come out regardless. So you might lose them anyway.
I don't think it would be like if I had to do it, it wouldn't be a reset, like a linear reset. It's not like, oh, they weren't born, so they don't exist. You can say that they're day one. You know, that's the beauty of a reset. Is you get
That's
them the
what I'm
way you
saying.
want
You can create again. You know, you can have Batman's first day. You can have him meet Dick Grayson in 2 weeks.
right?
You know, and they could start the. You know, you could. I'm just saying, you could have whatever. One thing we could have is fucking Alfred back, you twat, Tom King.
Yeah, that's ridiculous shit.
Yeah, fuck you, Tom King. Just fuck you. Right. Poland 805 again with $2 super chat. Dan, did you know or work with Michael Turner?
Yes. Mike was my best friend. He was best man in my wedding.
Oh, wow.
I did a lot of fill-in pages with him in Witchblade. He and I used to play a game. If you can go back and as early as Witchblade number 6 and start looking in the backgrounds. Anytime you see the number 23 hidden, he was hiding the number 23 for me. He's on the 23 is on the cover of Fathom number 1. You can find it right by his signature in the lower right. I would hide the number 21 in my comics for him. So he was my best friend. I miss him terribly, but yeah, very much so. If I'm getting a little sad, it's because he just had his birthday, last week. So yeah. Anyhow, yes, I knew and worked and loved him very much. Yes.
Yeah. It's sad. Atomic Portal with a £2 super chat. Spawn versus Ghost Rider. Who wins?
Spawn.
Spawn. He sends Ghost Rider back to hell and then uses up all his powers and goes to hell for eternity. Vakasin Vavisin, maybe not. With 250 dinars, I believe. Maybe not. Look, 2 bold men. You only need Uncle E here. Force is bold. Hail. Hey,
there we go.
Freshly shaved today, you know.
I almost did. I didn't have the time. I was going to come on all shiny for you, but wife needed help with the baby. So
I did my video today looking scruffy as fuck, and then decided to get this shaved.
My mother had a saying, and it's true. She said that the creator made only so many perfect heads, and then the rest he covered with hair.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Well, they say bold, not bold. They're saying we're bold.
Like smoking weed? Like bold? Smoking bold?
Smoking bold. 3 streams with a $10 super chat. Thank you very much. Dan, can you ask Todd to sign my Venom 1 green variant cover?
I can ask, but that doesn't mean it'll happen.
Also, do you have Stan the Man's signature?
I do. In fact, let me grab it and I'll show it to you. Hold on.
Oh, no, he's already got Stan the Man's signature on it as well. Bastard. Oh.
I had the pleasure of drawing Stan in an issue of Spider-Man. And it was one of those weird instances where Stan was a huge Ricky Gervais show fan. And
really?
Yeah, his office.
Awesome.
His office called my office, not knowing that I was a former, Marvel illustrator, but he wanted to meet the team that created that was making the Ricky Gervais show, and we all went down to his office. So I drew this picture of Stan in an issue of Spider-Man,
wow.
And then down here you can see it says, "To my good pal Daring Dan, Stan Lee." But yeah, this is my I have another one. He signed. I don't know if it's here. He signed my copy of How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way as well. But yeah, that's my Stan autograph, and I got to meet him a few times. He in fact, he groped my wife once, and it was very cute. It was very cute. My wife's got a nice butt, so I get it. And he could have it. That's fine.
He's Stan Lee.
He's Stan Lee. He's brought me so much joy, more joy than she has, and she's brought me a lot.
Oh, he also put. I already have Stan the Man's signature on it on his Venom 1 green variant cover. I don't know the story behind it, but he refuses to sign that.
Who
and other
Todd
issues.
does? Todd does?
Yeah.
Oh, it might be one of the things where I remember he did a whole video about that. There's something about respect. I think it has something to do with respect and them using artwork after the fact and some other things. And there are a couple things he won't sign because he won't. So I don't know the particulars. I know he made a video about it though.
Okay. Keaton Smith with another £2 super chat. Would love a black light poster of Black Flag.
That may happen. I'm talking to my licensor about it. In fact, there was a fan, Sigmund Torres, I think is his name. Hopefully I'm saying it right. He colored a version of Black Flag that was so cool that I was like, that would make a great Black light poster. So if it may happen, it may not be this campaign, but be ready for there to be one that does exist.
$271 away from 70K.
Holy smokes!
If he hits 70, if Dan hits 70K, folks, I will coerce him into taking a shot.
Taking a shot?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got a barrel aged whiskey upstairs in a barrel. So you just got to give me 2 minutes.
Don't worry about me. You click that link to IndieGoGo and back of the campaign.
Yeah,
and I'll show you something. I'll show you something to get interested in a second.
Yeah.
I got I've ordered the black light poster for
Salamandroid,
yeah. Because I got the Salamandroid cover for my Cyberfrog.
Yeah, I want one of those.
I like Salamandroid.
When he and Aunt Andrea did the demo of it, I was like, God damn it, I need that. Because I had those when I was a kid next to my Linda Carter Wonder Woman poster, you know?
Oh God, I used to.
Oh yeah. Ain't nothing wrong.
Oh hell yeah! As a young boy, that's woman. That's woman right there. That's all.
And if we had VCRs or DVRs in 1978 when that was happening, there would have been a cleanup on aisle 5 all the time, dude.
It would have got to that. It would have got to a certain point, and the video would just zuzz.
Yes, exactly. Why is this worn down? Why is this part?
Yeah, why is the... I don't know. Yeah. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Zero Duality for 2 Canadian. Do you do custom stencils if we want it tattooed?
I don't know what when you say custom. I'll take my jacket off. I'm a tattoo man myself. I've got a bunch of tattoos. What you'll be able to do if you're looking for like line art or something, like if there's a specific bit of line art that you want, see, I'm all covered up. If you want a specific piece that you see that out there in the interwebs and you're like, hey, this is great, email me at danfraga@mac.com and I'll send you the line art. And then the only thing I ask in return is that you send me a picture of what it looks like when it's done so I can show the world, because I think that's the coolest shit ever.
There you go. Right. Let's just do another share, shall we?
Yeah.
Doinky do. If you're on the fence, folks, Fraga Booms, Black Flag, Pineapple. What? Talk to me about the Pineapple Perception. Where did that name come from?
Well, it came from a dream. It's a weird thing, because if anybody saw my first promo that I did for Black Flag, where I bury bullets and cover them in Mountain Dew and they grow up out of the ground, that was a dream. That was a dream. And the name Pineapple Perception was a dream, but it actually makes sense. Like without spoilers, you're gonna have to read the book, kids. You're gonna have to read the book. It's gonna make perfect sense. But Pineapple Perception has everything to do with what's going on in the book.
I do think it just looks fucking beautiful, man.
Thank you.
I can't get over this. I seriously can't get over this though, because I watched the stream the other night.
Yeah.
When this was brought up, and you were zooming in on it.
Yeah.
And the level of detail is just obscene.
I'm a glutton for punishment, man. That's it.
How do you do it? I mean, you've got to love your craft to do something like this. I mean, absolutely fucking adore it.
And it's one of those things where when I'm doing it, I feel like I'm inside of it, like I'm in that moment. So when it's something that has this scope, like we look at it right now and we're pulled way back and it looks like craziness, but when you zoom in, you can see like here's a landstorm guy shooting at this creature, and if you turn your head, you see another guy that's getting swallowed up trying to stab it. You see another guy who's getting pulled up in the air. You look up and you see this. So I see this in my head as a virtual space, and this is my. I mean, I wish I could do like a fold out where it could be this big, you know.
So do I.
That's why, like, you know, when you zoom in, you can definitely see it's a frozen moment. But that's how I do it. Is I live in that in my mind. This thing exists like a frozen moment in space.
Damn, it was just god. I really could not, because when you did zoom in on that, and I think you started off around here and around this area here.
Yeah,
and it was just like fuck.
I did the buildings first. Then I did the mech guys. Then I put in the goop. Then I put in the black flag, and then the last thing I did was gorilla landing and breaking up the
Fraga booming everything.
Fraga booming it all.
Yeah. So there's your colored cover, line art cover, everything signed. Signed comic. Oh, and we lost. Hey, it's nice that we lost Dan and not vice versa.
But you didn't
he's back.
I had to blow my nose, man. I'm learning tricks, right? I could do this.
but then he gave it away. Yeah. I thought you had dropped. This time. I was like, yeah.
No. I got a little itch in my nose.
Yeah, it's coming out to that as show the videos. The videos. This is gonna be. I think this is gonna be low volume.
Yeah.
But that's as best as it's gonna do.
Yeah, and you find 20-year-old me drawing the original series. Thank God I found this archival footage too, man. I was working on the original series there, you know, grinding away. You see a little bit of that stuff. There's art to bear, a little subliminal there. I start talking about the characters. I put a little subliminal flash right here. Flash.
Yeah.
Flash. Subliminals. I talk a little bit about Todd McFarlane inking the cover, which is a dream come true. Look at all that beautiful hair that I don't have.
I know.
You could tell I was starting to lose it there. I was 20 when I started losing. Oh, boom. And then ashes. We see the cover with the glorious Todd McFarlane inks, and then boom, raining bullets. And I show up to talk to you about Black Flag and how excited I am to bring it to you. I'm going to do an update video. My friend Michael Green, who's there in the chat, he's great. I have this saying that it's hard to read the label when you're in the jar.
Yeah.
And I'm so in the jar, and he's my man outside there reading the label for me. So I'm going to do pretty soon. I'm going to do an update video where I walk you through some of the characters and the story. But I shot it. The wonderful thing about this video is I made this entirely on my phone, except for the fire that I had to walk to Mars to do. But everything else, the raining bullets, all the graphics, everything was shot and edited on the phone. And look, I like how it blends. You got fire in the background of your thing. We got fire back here. It looks really
yeah. The fire from my background, fire from your background. Oh, now that looks like a proper team that are actually meaning some business, not a team that looks like it's about to, I don't know, fucking talk about kale.
Back rub. How do you feel? Green Goblin, how do you feel?
I want to go back into my safe space. I just feel like very conspicuous here, and it's all very like concerning and stuff. And it's,
you know, the thing about safe space that I can relate to, I mean, clearly because the pink Dookie shorts that he was wearing, he is your typical jock.
Yeah.
And I can relate to that.
Yeah. Every typical jock that I saw was walking around in pink spandex, with pink hair, and fucked his sister.
Oh.
Yeah.
What happened to the little baby of the group, Incest? You know, the baby's name is Incest.
Well, I think that's what the sister will have. Well, sorry, they will have, because they realize they're actually sporting a vagina.
Yeah.
Right. Let's have a quick little.
That's right.
Let's have a mosey. See if anyone's jumped into the parade while we're here. See, I got a yellow flash video to watch.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Hmm?
Yours is in pounds. That's so cool.
Yeah. I have to go here to see the dollar signs.
International. That is dope.
$186 away from 70,000.
That's incredible.
812 backers. So link is in the description box down below, folks, if you want to do it. Let's see if we can grab something from the douchey from the chat while we're here. Grab this one. Oscar Fraga, we need a cover variant from you for Cyberfrog Wrecked Planet.
Hey, I'd be down, man. You talked to Uncle E. I just did a card for his card game. I had a lot of fun. That was the second time I got to draw the awesome frog. So you go let Uncle E know. The more he hears it, the more it'll be a reality. Because I'm down.
Well, I'll be up for that because I got the Honeycomb edition. So any new comic, they're just going in for me.
Boom. Get that Fraga up on that cover, dude.
Just a freebie for me.
It'll be scratch. He should be in an herb field, and it should be scratch and sniff, so you can see it smells like skunks. You know?
Well, I thought we'd bring up this comment since we spoke about it. Mad love to Linda Carter, but how about Baroness? Dude, that she was prime spank bank material.
Of course. Baroness was up there. There are all kinds, man. Dagger from Cloak and Dagger. I had a big soft spot for her. And this one.
Even though I started collecting comics in '92, I do remember as a kid I used to get these very nice, yeah. I used to get these very small. They're about this big, and like that, and they were like hot glued in comics, and they fell apart in a fucking. And I got a few Spider-Man, and I think got a Spider-Man and a Hulk.
Yeah,
one of them, and the Spider-Man one was he fought a robot and he destroyed a robot, and the Spider-Man one had Black Cat.
Oh yeah, Felicia is great.
And I was just like, ooh.
You know what you say whenever I see her? I say Felicia. Oh,
I love her if she could Felicia me.
Yeah.
There we go. In a disguise, less than $200 to go. Back Black Flag. Get Fraga Fraga.
Yeah.
Fraga boom.
Fraga boom. We're making history today, because it wasn't even decided that that's what it was until officially today. So we can mark down April 27th. Your show, we've decided. My name is Fraga, but when you put them next to each other with boom, it is Fraga boom.
Fraga boom.
Yeah.
I'd just from an ego perspective, like if you hit 70K on this show, and then I'd be like, vanity. Yeah. Vanity sort of wiggle like that.
We did it. I'm gonna get that shot too.
I love the visuals in Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah,
didn't they do an Amazon series of that Cloak and Dagger?
I haven't, and I'm kind of afraid to watch it. I'm such a huge fan of the Bill Mantlo, Rick Leonardi series that it'd be very difficult to live up to. Like very difficult to live up to. So I don't know.
I think it got modernized as well. Fraga, would you consider doing non-foldable large pin-up posters for all the Black Flag heroes? Something like 23, 24 inch by 35, 36.
I'm considering everything. I just signed a licensing deal with my friend's company, and we are plotting all kinds of fun stuff. It's all about demand. You know, I personally would love it all. But you know, I end up getting talked to about, whether it could be worthy of being made or not. So chalk one up for that. Definitely considered.
I had the next one lined up and I lost it. Here, let's grab this one while I'm here. My brother was in love with Firestar from Spider-Man and Friends.
Oh, yeah.
And Cheetara from Thundercats. Think he's a secret furry?
No. Those, see, your brother, he and I are probably the same age. I'm going to gather he's about 45. I'm 45, 46-ish, because those were my jam too. And I'm not a furry, though I will wear a pink bunny suit if we hit 100. You know,
I used to like Cheetara. She's
Oh,
a sexy
yeah.
lady.
She was. She definitely was.
From the 80s anyway. Well, the night, it was 80s. Yeah, Thundercats was 80s.
85.
Yeah.
85. Woken Dagger. Okay. I've heard it. I've heard it here first. Thank you. Warning shots.
Woke and Dagger.
Woken Dagger.
That is not good to hear. That's not good to hear. Sorry, Michael. I was trying to get the one above.
No, but that's right. He's right. That Pat Lee piece. Pat Lee's.
I'll jump down to it. Don't worry. Dan, you are my favorite addition to Comicsgate since it started. You bring the great positivity and fun to an already raucous group.
Yeah, we're a funny bunch, man. Everybody's got their distinct personalities. It's feels like a wacky TV show sometimes.
yeah. I mean, Ethan described it as chaotic.
It is.
And I think when I watched the other day, there was Cecil, and then there was you, and then there was Ethan doing weird shit, and even that in itself,
yeah. Cecil
like, who knows?
Joy. Cecil brings me so much joy. I love him so much.
I don't think I've ever seen him sober.
No, and I hear he's on sober, which is sad. That makes me sad because.
Hey, what's that? Sorry, say again.
I've heard rumors that he's no fun when he's sober, and that's sad to me.
No, you can do it, Cecil. You can be a fun sober person.
Yeah,
it's all right. Let's grab Michael, because I lost Michael. There we go. By the way, you've just heard that we're less than $100 away now.
Incredible, which means
$69,907. $93, people. $93 away.
That means we're if we hit 70, that means I'm $30,000 away from the pink bunny suit.
Yeah,
and I'll do it too. You know, I've been trying to get Uncle E to eat that tomahawk steak that he's been promising us forever. I told him I wanted him to look like Daniel Day-Lewis.
I can't eat the steak. I'm gotta put it in a sandwich for me. I can't do American accents.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I love it. I love when I hear my brothers and sisters from across the ocean do American accents. What you have to do, the best way I was told, my buddy Russ, he's an actor, Russ Manning. He said he thinks of Eddie Murphy's Banana in the Tailpipe. I'm not gonna put the banana. And he says he just goes there and it works. I'm always blown away. I can't do a Texan or something like that, you know. I can just do the style. It sounds so.
But just doing like the normal stuff, I can't do the normal stuff, you know.
Yeah, and
I can only do the affected stuff.
You've got so many different accents too. You got the Cockney. You've got the I don't know the official names. The upper crust. Like hearing like Pilkington sounds different to me. He's almost sort of Liverpool in a way.
Well, he called him a mank, which means Manchester.
That's what it means. Okay.
You got Scouse, which is Liverpool. Yeah. That's Scouse.
They're telling me we're at 70. I'm going to be right back, guys. I'm going to go grab my barrel. This is great. Yeah, look, I have my my red.
Oh yeah, 70,137.
Thank you. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go grab my barrel. I'm going to leave my screen on so you guys can look at the spinner rack in the distance.
I know. I'm kind of a bit I can see the Lobo from here. Damn bastard. I mean, what a lovely guy. Wow, people, amazing. What amazing support. Taken down. I'm not getting anything out of this, by the way. I'm just doing this for shits and giggles. 70,137. I'm just so chuffed. hit 70,000 on this. But I love the look of it. I love the look of it. It looks like a whole lot of fucking fun. I'm sick and tired of being fucking fed soy shite by Marvel and DC, or being depressed when I'm reading a Batman fucking comic. That's the last thing I should bloody be. I want fucking big guns. I want big fucking titties. I want big fucking explosions. And I'm going to get it in this book. And that's what I want. That's what I care about.
I got my St. Bernard barrel. Someone the other day said it looks like something you would see around the collar.
Wow, it's the St. Bernard, yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the thing that's great about this, I don't know if you're a whiskey man, but you can buy cheap whiskey, put it in here, leave it in here for a month, and it turns it into expensive whiskey. It's freaking amazing.
Well, as my friends like to say to me, hey, Az, you really like your gay drinks.
Oh, so you're like a Cosmo guy?
Yeah. I like a appletini, you know?
Oh, yeah, those are good. Have you ever had the Washington apple where it's like bourbon and pucker? It's really good. It tastes like a sour apple. It's really good.
I like. I'm a rum and coke man. That's kind of my jam. Rum and coke, ice, lime round the rim. Drop that lime wedge in as well.
That's pretty good. I like, the only thing I like in my alcohol is more alcohol or ice. I don't really do any mixing.
Oh,
so,
yeah, the mixes is why they call it my gay drinks.
Here's to you, my friend. Thank you
so
much.
No problem.
Guys in the chat, thank you for helping me get to 70. Incredible.
Boom. He said he'd do it. He's done it.
It says, now refund. Reback about 10 times. Get me super drunk. But every refund you give, I have to refund you. So, but
yeah, it'll just puke it back out. We got one more super chat. I can grab it here while I'm here, actually. Boom.
Yeah.
Oops, boom. Grab it here. Tatsunami with 3 Chilean francs with a super sticker. Let's have a look.
Chilean francs. That sounds like a delicious dish.
It does. It sounds actually quite nice. I could do with some a bit spicy tonight, actually.
Yeah.
It's a hippo playing some fake musical instruments. I like it. I like it a lot. Thank you very much indeed. And Carol Baskin's husband.
Will the woman in Black Flag look like a real woman? Yeah. In fact,
oh yes.
I have a sequence where she's going to jump out of Big Betty, which is their craft. Her armor is going to come up off of her. You're going to see her in her lingerie. The armor is going to come up and around again and turn into a motorcycle. And as she's falling, she's going to ride her motorcycle on falling debris, and then going to jump up off. And then when you see the double pager, she's transforming back down into a woman again. So you're going to see some lady bits. Not all of them. No beans. No beans. Definitely no Franks. But yeah, real woman, 100%.
That's a real woman.
And if
looking
you can
like
see
a real woman,
that cover there from 1994, she was the girls I had the hots for back in 1994 was Tia Carrera and Cindy Crawford. Tia Carrera,
my Tia Carrera crush has never gone away.
Yeah, well, yeah. My crush now is my wife, and I really mean that genuinely. I mean, she's fucking stunning. Some of you guys have had the luck of seeing her on.
I saw her the other night when she came on stage. She's very nice.
Yeah,
came on stage. What the fuck? Came on screen.
I said, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, Miss Fraga."
Yes, Miss Fraga.
But yeah, Geisha. She's based on Tia Carrera and Cindy Crawford. That's why she's got the little beauty mark, and she's half Japanese.
Nice. But
yeah, and lovely attributes are abreast.
Well, I mean, there's something that's missed in comics for a long time now.
A couple of things. Yeah, I can't. I figure out what they are. I don't know.
Way up the odds.
Yeah.
Way up the odds, mate. Way up the odds.
Yeah.
Boom. So Dan.
Yes, sir.
Let's just wrap it up. Let's wrap it up now, because I think we're coming up to the time where I'm due to be kicked off by Virgin again for another few minutes.
Hey, Mr. Biggins. I heard he's in the chat. What's up, Mr. Biggins? Shadowhawk.
Boy,
yeah.
Boosh. There you go.
Cheers. What's up, Mr. Biggins? Hail.
There you go. Just the girl. Just the girl.
Yeah.
So Dan, give us some plugs, sir. Give us some plugs.
Well, I want you to check out Vinny's Into the Woods, Adam Post's College of the Dead, of course, Uncle E's Wrecked Planet, Cecil's Cash Grab. Check out Zaid Comics if you get a chance. They got some really good stuff coming out with Magic Cop. They got Lost Pages coming out. I know I'm missing a bunch of other ones. There's Phantasm, and I'm sorry for fucking up the name. You got Xenotype from Liam Gray. I wish I could list them all. Antonio Bice has Away the Gun 2. Check that out. And, of course, you want to check out Black Flag. Check out, if you guys are big fans of Instagram, look at Couch Doodles on Instagram. You can see some time lapses. And please, this is the thing I really want to do. And I want to talk to you about this as well. Help me grow my channel. My channel is a place to inspire creativity in others through example, not only my own, but through my guests. I want to see other people making stuff and getting out there on their own, taking that plunge and creating great content for the rest of us to experience. So please check out Couch Doodles on all platforms.
Boosh. Very good, sir. Very good. So I want to give huge thanks to you for coming on.
Thank you, man. I'm a huge fan. Like, to hear you say my name, like I said when you came on, you said Fraga Boom. I was like, he said my name. Like, it's very cool. Very cool.
Well, I knew as soon as I saw that video, I saw that video in the car, and then I saw Richard C. Mayer drooling over the purple gorilla.
Yeah, that was a fun thing, man.
And then
when I gorillas, for him to say,
when I saw that image, I was just like, fuck.
Yeah.
Holy shit! I gotta check this guy's work out. This is fucking amazing. So to me, it's been an utter, not a privilege to kind of find you this way. Because I'm being a DC guy, you were traveling in a totally different world to what I would have normally.
So a Lobo fan?
I like Lobo. Yeah. I saw it in Iraq behind.
Yeah. I love it. Simon's a buddy of mine, and he's my gateway to DC. I loved DC as a kid, and like I said, Dark Knight, Green Lantern, Dark Knight, those were my jams. But Lobo, man, that one really got me.
Well, when Lobo used to be Lobo, not.
What do you mean? He's only that. That's
they messed around with him a little while.
That's an imposter.
Yeah, okay. Never happened. Right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. We'll go with that one. No, but it seriously has. I'm really glad that you sold a few comics today as well, which is fantastic. Because
thank you so
legitimately, much. Folks, legitimately, you got to support people who are actually making comics that we want to fucking read. Because otherwise, what are you going to do? You're going to buy fucking Safe Space. You're going to buy fucking depressed Batman. I can't get these anymore. I'm just going back into back issues. I can't do this new stuff anymore.
Yeah,
I can't. It's just shite. It's just utter shite.
Stuff with like Frazetta paintings, just to like, it's like those people that need vitamin D and they go, go get some UV light so you can not be depressed. I feel like if you expose yourself to some Frazetta paintings, you'll get teed up a little bit. What
was I doing? I was bagging. I think it was Batman 414, maybe. Jim Starlin.
Yeah.
Maybe 424. The one with the woman and the knife, and then you can see the reflection of Batman in the knife.
Yeah.
And just the first page, I hadn't read that for such a long time. And just the first page, there was like 3 bubbles, and it was just so concise, and it set everything up, and you were just like, right, take me on this adventure.
Yeah.
And that was it. And now it's just fucking shit. Sorry.
Okay, man. That's time. It's time for new, man. It's a whole new world. You got books out there that give a damn about what you think and the kind of experiences you have. And I'm telling you, man. I got to hold on. We got to hold on to
crates like this.
I'm super excited about it. I want to also give a shout out to. I see some of my regulars in your chat, which gives me a lot of happiness. Of course, Michael Green, Death Metal Hero. I saw Leg Kick in there. Of course, Hatch is in there. What About's in there. I see them. I want to say what's up, Mr. Biggins, of course. Big love. He's big CG. He is big CG supporter as well. So I want to say what's up to those guys.
That's cool stuff. Well, thank you ever so much indeed, Dan.
Yeah.
Huge thank you to everyone who stopped by tonight. Massive thank you to my mods for being amazing as always, putting links out there for people to see and information, etc. You're awesome, Vanessa. You've been absolutely outstanding tonight, and I can't thank you enough. Everyone who super chatted tonight as well, thank you so much indeed for supporting the channel. And importantly, everyone who backed Black Flag tonight, thank you so much indeed. Like I said, you've got to support creators like this.
Yeah,
and I'll be back.
What's up to Jude too? Sorry about that. I saw Jude.
No, go for it.
Yeah.
Hi,
sorry,
Jude.
Man. Yeah, what up, Jude? And Will Perdomo, that's my co-writer right there. William Perdomo, he's writing Black Flag with me as well. So big love for him. And you guys, please share. Feel free if you don't have the wherewithal right now to support the book, you can show your support by just getting the word out. Let the people know.
Absolutely.
Every single thing counts. So thank you.
Tweet the link, post up the link wherever you can.
Yeah.
You know, if you can't personally, that's cool. But if you can spread the word, try and get people to have a look, that'd be amazing. That'd be absolutely amazing. Tomorrow night, I'll be back backing and chatting with Gary from Nerdrotic. He's going to come on and we're going to do some bagging and boarding tomorrow night. Yeah.
How's that? His show? I hear he's a lot of fun.
Oh, Gary's great. Gary's great.
Tell him I said hello.
I will do.
I want to see your Warhammer paintings. One day you were painting them and I didn't get to see how they turned out.
Here, I'll this is my great unclean one, which I did.
And you hand painted that?
I hand painted this, yeah.
Gorgeous, man. How long did that take?
Probably took me, because I'm very new to this kind of stuff.
It doesn't look like it. It's like
I think it took me around about 2 weeks to do that one.
Okay.
Because I've just got a very specific army here, so I'll just grab this guy here. This guy here.
Whoa. Are you using like any magnifying lenses when you get in there, or are you just doing it?
No, I'm going in raw, mate. I'm going in raw.
Fine. See, you like my detail. I like that detail. That detail to me is just bananas. And what is that character? He's like holding a baby and about to eat it.
Well, yeah, he's this is a Slimux. He's a demonic horticultural gardener that drops horrible things on the ground. And to get that to move, he's got to put a nurgling as bait to get it to move.
Man, are there any comics with these characters?
There's books.
They need to make comics of those, man. Either that, or I need to just start doing shit like that in Black Flag. That is excellent.
That's one of my numerous. As Gary from Nerdrotic would say, "Oh God, you are a proper nerd, you."
That's good. That's a badge, man. We need to.
Oh yeah.
Don't you think we should form something like they have at Boy Scouts? You know, merit badges.
Yeah. I was just exactly thinking the same.
When you go to a convention, because they'll come back, but when you go to a convention, you can just sort of be like, "Yeah, I'm a Whovian." You know,
I got my Whovian badge. Got my Warhammer badge.
I got
my 10 years in comics, 20 years in comimics, 30 years in comics.
I get a special one because I'm a time traveler. I'm a Fraga.
Oh, boom!
Very special. But hell yeah! Oh, Matt Yackey's in the chat too. He's my colorist on Black Flag, and he's our art director over at Incredible Comics. So he's in the chat. But yeah, dude, we definitely need to. Why don't we work that out? Seriously, if today is official, we hit 70,000 on Black Flag. Thank you for that. Being on your show pushed us over. Thank you for that.
No problem.
We made it official that it is Fraga Boom when it's in conjunction with the word boom. So it's not Fraga Boom, it's Fraga Boom.
Fraga Boom, yeah.
And we need to get a bunch of people putting together
your hold on, your bottle opener,
of course. But we need to get nerd credibility badges that are unified across anywhere in the world. That when you go through San Diego Comic-Con, New York, anywhere over there in Europe, Australia,
Well,
whatever.
CG Con next year, next May.
Wearing your merit badges, bro. I think that's dope.
This is what we got to do. We got to get some merit badges. We got to get some merit badges to some people. But I think we'll have to do some fun little things to make sure they earn their merit badges.
Well, yeah, of course, yeah.
Hell yeah. Eric Bailey, quickly before we jump off, he's nicked in here with a super chat. Eric Bailey for a $2 super chat. Hey, Raz, artisan anime badge here. Anime, manga, anime.
I love anime.
There's plenty. Eric, there is plenty of badges that we can do, son. Thank you ever so much indeed for the super chat. So we're going to wrap it up there, folks. I'll be back tomorrow with some more stuff. Massive thank you to Dan. Even when we go off air, the link is in the description box down below. This is going to stay up on the channel for everybody to watch as well. So the link to the IndieGoGo is in the description box. If you having to think about it and then you want to go ahead with it, click it, back these people who are actually making comics that we want to read, for God's sake. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Dan, do you want to say goodbye?
Thank you, guys. Fraga boom.
Bye for now. Fraga boom!